but we got smashed. But we got smashed, bro. So
3, 2, 1, go!
What's up? It's your boy Levelhead back with another live and Leveled Gamers podcast. Yes, this is episode 364. I got that wrong on the thing. It should be 364, not 363. But what's up, people?
What it do?
yo, what's up?
Man, nothing much, man. Busy week for your boy. And we here. And got a little bit to talk about. We got to talk about Shawn Layden interview. I thought his interview was pretty cool. He had a few other topics in there that I want to touch on tonight. We also got to talk about PlayStation 4 being dropped from Plus. We also got to talk about Capcom's Spotlight. That was this week as well. We may talk about another topic with Nintendo. Is the Switch to Nintendo enough? And what else, people?
I'm kind of curious about what you mean about that one, though.
Man, it's what people been saying. The question folks been asking, it's kind of annoying to me. But I'm just gonna fix all this. But yeah, we gotta talk about it. Yeah, I'll let you know. But yeah, man, Daddy Jazz, K1, what it do, people? So we got a little cash here for you tonight. Drop the bombs on them. Hiroshima. But yeah, man, we are here. These are all in your eardrum, your inner eardrum. And we're going to have a good time on tonight. Yes, we will. Yes. I can take y'all to church if I want. What's up, people? What's up?
Almost asked you for a peppermint.
Yeah, I was about to go there. My wife be putting them out every Sunday. I be cracking up. We known for our candy. But anyway, what's good? So,
yeah, like you said, it's been a very busy week.
Man,
very busy.
Man.
Crazy.
You ain't never lied. K-Bum, how about you, sir? How has your week been, my friend?
I said our ties, boss. Nah, it's been a rough week, man. In fact, I was just maybe 20 minutes ago answering questions from work. I was working all the way till about 8 o'clock today. So yeah,
okay.
It's been a long week.
Man, Alan Steed, you love that intro, Alan Steed? Okay. Hey. I like that intro too. Alan Steed, I like that intro myself. If I have to say so myself, I like that intro too. He said it just hit so hard, no diddy. Okay, see, slap yourself.
Hey, speaking of no Diddy, Day 26 got a new album out.
What?
No Diddy.
What?
I let that sink in.
Who got an album?
They got a new album?
Yeah, they put out a new. I listened to like the first song. I've been too busy to just really dive deep into stuff. But yeah, they got a new album out.
That's wild.
A1s or something like that. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, no Diddy. Literally, no Diddy.
Hey, if y'all could share the y'all listening online, share this on X. Let people know we in here. K-Bum 20, y'all.
X? What's that?
Or Twitter.
I don't call it no X.
That's what it's
The only X I know is DMX.
you know more X's than that, but we shall not have this conversation. Anyway, we hear y'all. Y'all see me already ready to go. But no, so who going to see the new Cap America? Who going to see new Captain America this
Yeah,
weekend?
I'm gonna have to. That's next weekend.
Next weekend, I mean.
No, it's gonna be yeah, that's our Valentine's Day thing. So I'm gonna have to book the movie theater so we can watch it as a couple.
Y'all gonna book? You gonna rent out the whole theater?
What he
Nah, nah,
said.
nah,
That's
nah,
what he
nah.
said.
I did that in COVID though. That was dope. I do have to say that. I did that to see Black Widow.
And he
Me and my
flexing.
family.
Wait a minute.
No,
Hold
no,
up.
no.
Wait a minute.
It
K
wasn't a flex.
Bum.
It wasn't a
Wait a
flex.
He
minute.
flexing.
Hold up. K
It-
Bum, you will not be
Flexing on
flexing.
it.
You not gonna be flexing like that on this podcast, sir.
okay, okay.
Now
Let's
you
get it
stop
straight.
it. You stop it now.
I
I'm
did not rent
offended.
out the entire movie theater. Let's get it straight.
Okay.
We rented out
A whole
a
theater.
theater. Yeah, one room. So one room
And still
was not
flexing.
was nothing but me and my family. It was COVID time. We didn't want to be next to nobody, so we got
Keith,
together. We got the money together, and we rent
One
out the
room
whole.
was a safe. What you mean?
this ninja is on here flexing live on the
It's not.
Live
It's
11
not a
Carry
flex, man.
podcast.
It wasn't.
Flexing. Looking like
Hey,
Shawn with the white
you know
man.
what's
Like,
funny?
yeah, I'm paid. I got money.
It wasn't even like
You
that.
know what's funny about that movie? What's funny about that movie is you could have watched it at home. That was one of the first ones they let you watch from home. It was like day and date.
Nah.
Yeah.
We
Black
had to get
Widow.
out.
Well,
It was
hey,
COVID.
hey,
We had to get
hey,
out. We had to
hey.
get out the house.
When are y'all doing this?
Doing what?
When y'all renting this theater out? I need
Lane,
some.
we ain't renting no more theaters out, man. That's
No,
old.
you said you're
We
renting
passed
out the
that.
theater. I'm trying to
No,
find
man.
out what night.
No, man.
No, you
We
already
just
let the cat out the bag,
we ain't
bro.
renting out. No, it's just me and
So
the wife.
I
It
need to
ain't
go tell the
like that.
wife we got to drive up north.
Nah,
We
just for
finna
you can
see.
fall
Hey,
asleep.
how
Nah,
far?
I've been in the movie with
Hey,
you.
How far away is that
hey,
from
I ain't paying
Springfield?
no
I'll be up
bills for
there.
you
hey,
to fall
look,
asleep.
Keith, a free sleep is a good sleep. How much it costs? Free 99. We shall
Oh,
be up there to drop the kids off at the house with the in-laws. Me and my wife will be there. So give me the date, man. I'm trying to come.
you good? You good, homie?
Oh my God, I can't come and watch the
Ain't nobody renting out no theater, man.
man dude renting out. Just flexing, Keith. Just I think I'm gonna rent out the theater.
How far away is that theater from Springfield? That's where
It
I'll be
ain't
at
that long.
next
We'll
week.
fly
Too
you in.
far.
You can fly in. You can bring somebody
I
too.
got a
Hey
fly.
Nia, how you doing to the show?
That
Oh my bad. I just saw her name down there.
Yeah, flew somebody out. Sorry.
Yeah, you can fly somebody in and come and see it.
she's saved by the bell.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you can see, we already live, and I keep it level because K Bum is over here tripping, man. But if you do that, K Bum, invite your boy, man.
I'm not doing it, man. Chill,
Don't.
bro.
Hey, I put five. I got five on it. I got five on it. That's about all I can put on it. But I got it. If my wife decided to contribute, we could put 10 on it. And we all can puff and pass as we watch. No, I mean, we can watch the movie. What I'm talking about.
Hold on. What did
Anyway,
this turn
I
into?
was
I don't.
I
messing.
mean, it's legal,
Y'all
but
didn't catch the 5 on it reference? 5 on it?
okay. All right. Well, now I got it.
Loonies?
It, did,
Y'all ain't.
it
Yeah,
didn't.
I got it now.
It didn't
I
hit.
was,
Y'all
It
didn't
didn't
catch
hit
the
like I thought it was gonna hit.
it didn't hit at first.
It didn't. That didn't
Y'all did
land. That
not
didn't land
catch
at
the
first.
Loonies reference. I got 5
I got
on
it
it.
now. I got it now.
It
I
didn't.
was,
That was a jam back in the day.
it was, but
Y'all little young
it was.
whippersnappers don't know nothing about that on here. Y'all don't know nothing about that. But
I ain't
anyway,
gonna. One like we was in college at the same time. That's all good. But you told me.
I still got a few years on you though, K Bum. I got a few
Yeah,
years on you
got a
though.
couple. I mean, you
Yeah,
got
I
a
got a
couple.
couple. About two weeks I got on you. But anyway, what else, man? Anything else? Are we just gonna go into what you've been gaming on?
I don't. I didn't see a movie this week. No, we didn't get a chance to. We were busy. So
Yeah.
I still got on the radar is the Craven. That's still on the radar. So if hopefully this Friday we get a chance and we'll catch Craven. That's still on my list.
Ugh. Ugh. No.
Oh,
You don't think it's gonna
I've
be
seen
good?
them all. I saw Madam Web. I saw
Ugh.
the last Venom. I
Ugh.
saw Morbius. Oh, I've seen all this trash.
Yeah, that's trash. Don't even waste your time. Hey, the Lakers is playing. Hey,
Hey,
have
wait, wait.
y'all? Oh, speaking of, sir.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Hold on,
Speaking
keep trying to say
of,
something. What you saying,
I, was-
Keith?
I, was, I, was
no.
about, I was about to say something, but he wants to say something about the Lakers. I didn't want to go too far away from the movies, just real
Go ahead,
quick,
Keith. My bad.
and then we get to the Lakers, and then we get to these games. K Bum, this is for you, really.
Yes, sir.
You think this Fantastic Four they gonna hit with this one, or Fantastic Four just can't be done?
If it can
That's a
be
good
done,
question, Keith.
this is the cast to do it.
All right,
If it can be done, this is the cast. Because all of these actors are A1 actors and actresses. So if they can't do it, nobody can do it.
If we
Because
can't
Pedro
do
done
it,
made almost
nobody
anything.
can.
Everything he touched turns to gold.
that's true.
You talking about the
The
one
last one,
that's playing
Mr. Fantastic,
Mr.
Mr.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
It
he is good.
The Mandalorian,
Mm-hmm.
Game of Thrones, The Last of Us,
Last of Us, yeah. Yeah, he good.
all of it, gold. So whatever. I don't know. I mean, he's a great actor, but man, everything he touches golden, man. So if he can't do it with this cast, because the Johnny Storm is the same guy from what was that? Stranger Things. And he was an awesome character in that. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the fan favorites. And let's say if this cast can't do it, and the guy playing the thing, like he's a well known actor. He is well established. And if they can't do it, can't nobody do it. And then John Malkovich is an OG. If they can't do it, man, no one
It just
can. That's
can't be
how
done. It can't be
it can't
done.
it can't be done. Then that's how I feel.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Norris, I think I'm gonna let you take over the question action. That was a pretty good question, sir. I actually that was very well presented. Is this the
Listen,
cast to
man.
do it? I like how you presented
Good
that,
question.
sir. That was a good question. But yeah, to my Lakers. 12 minutes, just give me 2 minutes. First of all, let me say it hurts me, and I was really torn on this, and I'm still kind of torn. I did not want to see AD go. I'm not a Laker fan. I'm a LeBron fan. So let me get that right. I hated to see AD go. But what helped me out was seeing AD's interview, and he seemed to be happy. And, I was like, you know what? I'm happy if he happy. All right, then I can kind of, because I felt like they did him dirty, right? Clearly, Luka. Man, I don't know what they thinking. Oh, Nia, don't you do that. Slap yourself. Get the office place out. Make sure you up. People coming in the doors. You need to go ahead and wake up because we're about to take the office place up. Luka looked like he was hurt, man. And the way Nico poured on that brother, it was kind of foul in my opinion. They didn't want to pay that man that $350. That's what that was. They ain't have nothing to do with his weight or health or none of that. They didn't want to give him $350 for whatever reason. They didn't want to give him. It was about
Whatever reason, that man don't play no defense.
Man, that brother
Whatever
got
reason.
that man got them. Okay, I say this. In the last year, they was more successful than Anthony Davis and LeBron.
I give you that.
So
I'm just saying that boy don't play a lick of defense. There is some reason though. Let's not get
I'm
this twisted
saying
as if this came out of nowhere.
you don't let that, to me, just real quick, that's not a legitimate enough reason to let a talent of his caliber go.
Do you see what happened to Harden? Harden,
Yeah.
all that offensive talent.
He not hard. He better than Harden. Man.
Yes he is. I agree with that.
Okay, all right. So,
But I'm just saying, all that offensive talent and without no defense.
I get it. I get it. That's why you put good D around him. You put good defense around him.
No, did it?
I ain't saying false. You put good D
that good D around him.
That's right.
Lord,
Put that
have
good D.
I'm going on mute.
Stop,
I got
man.
muted
Stop
up.
it, bro. Stop, man. We can't. No,
That
I
was
will not.
that was
I would
wild.
not succumb to this nonsense. I am too
Oh
old.
no!
I am too
Hey,
Oh
old for the
man!
Keith,
pause
put
game.
that good D around.
Defense,
Oh
good
no!
D.
Oh,
That's what we used to say. It's still
woo.
safe to say today. You put the good D
No,
around
no,
him.
no, it ain't. No, it ain't safe to say
Yeah,
no
it is.
more.
I'm not pausing for y'all. Laugh,
Oh,
nigga, laugh. I'm not
please,
pausing. Put that good
please,
D
Lord.
around
Oh,
him.
Lord help.
He
Jesus,
doubling down.
Put it all
he
around
dribbling
him.
down.
And then he don't have to worry about
Oh,
playing D himself.
you don't worry
There
about
you
playing with
go.
nothing. All that D around him.
That's right. Put that D around him. I'm not going no
Yeah,
more. No more pausing. I'm not
help
pausing
me,
for
Jesus.
nobody. This is the Live and Level Gamers podcast. There
Oh,
shall
help
not
me,
be any
Lord.
pausing. But no, man, I'm slowly warming up. But that hurt me, man. I ain't gonna front. That hurt me. I don't think Jimmy Butler to the Warriors was the move they needed. We'll see though. I think they gave up Wiggins, and I think Wiggins covers a lot of stuff for them. I don't know, man. It was a lot of activity, but it's a lot of stupid narratives being spent too, man. But anyway, y'all ain't here to talk about who y'all think gonna win the Super Bowl this week, real quick.
Well, I know who I'm rooting for. I don't know who's gonna win. I know who I'm rooting for though.
Who you rooting for?
The Eagles, man. I ain't rooting for no Chiefs.
Oh well, I'm patting my homeboy. He got to get his third one.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, Keith, where you at?
I just wanted some good nachos and some biscuits, and that's all I really care about. And I want to see Kendrick.
Yeah, that's really I
I
can
want him.
see that.
I want to see him dig a grave at the. Let me stop talking
Oh
like
my
that.
God!
Yeah, I just want
That
to see him dig a grave. You know what I'm saying?
don't that
That's
make
all.
Drake line? He's talking, give him a Grammy. Just on a whole
hmm
level of life. I bet he wish he could take that bar back because they gave him 5 Grammys,
Man.
Drake. 5 of them. All on your head. Well, anyway, let's get into it. Let's go. Yeah. You know what time it is? It's time for What Have You Been Gaming On? Sing it, folks. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? 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 Gaming on, gaming on, gaming on. All right, so who want to go first?
I'll go ahead and go first.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
I'll go ahead and go first. So yeah, I've been playing on the usual suspects. Nothing major. But I do have to say, I did get the homies to come out and holler at your boy. Keep this no longer on the clock. So I did get
That's right.
Mr. Level. I
That's
did
right.
get Mr. Norris
That's
hop
right.
on and play some Marvel Rivals with me. Mr. Norris had to go to a different lobby because he was terrible at the beginning, but he got better. I will say
Um,
he got better
this is true. This is true.
because he was absolutely levelish at the beginning, but he
Oh
got
my
better.
gosh.
I mean, but no, man, my homie, yeah, we had some good time. He kind of enjoyed it. I don't know how many times he gonna be back, but I think he enjoyed it. It was a fun time.
Yeah, I come back, when I get a chance
I'm not
to.
gonna
I
be the
I gotta
I'm not
level
gonna
up
be the
to be with
example
the
of terrible
homies.
play. I'm not gonna keep being the example of terrible play, sir. Go ahead, keep my bad. I will not.
uh,
I will not be. I did good that game. I was actually doing my thing. I got 11 kills. I was handling my own them games, sir. So I need my credit. Go ahead,
no
Keith.
problem, no problem, no problem.
No, it's Cable.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
No, I'm good. So yeah, I'm just finishing up. So I had a good time though. Just playing the usual games, like I said, Marvel, and playing with the homies. So that was enjoyable. Had a good time.
All right. That's all you played?
Yeah, Marvel Rivals and Little 2K. Not
Oh,
much.
dang. I thought this, hey, man. Okay. All right.
Nah.
K-Bum.
This is Marvel 2K right now.
The week was too busy, I guess. Mr. Norris, it's your flow, sir.
Yes. As K-Bone just mentioned, I did get into the Marvel Rivals, and as he mentioned, I was terrible. I was terrible. Like a donut had a hole in it. Basketball. Anyways, I was terrible. But he pulled me to another lobby and he was showing me the ropes between the characters, whatnot. 'Cause like I said, I have not been playing. My son has been playing. My son is better than me. I guarantee it. But yeah, play Marvel Rivals and play some Spider-Man 2 on PC. And I don't know what it is, but my fingers okay. Hear me out, people. I'm getting I'm getting beat up. It's like I can't dodge. I don't know. It's something wrong with me. It's just me. It ain't the game. It's me. It's 60 frames a second. It's smooth and buttery. I can't dodge like that no more. Like I don't lost the twitchiness or something. But I'll get it back with more practice. But man, this was kind of brutal and embarrassing because it's early on in the game. So, but yeah, play some Spider Man, and I'll say this: the graphics are beautiful. I like the back and forth between Peter and Miles. So far, everything seems cool. I mean, I haven't met all the characters as of yet, but I like the way they're trying to navigate this series moving forward. So um, kudos to them for that game. It's pretty good, and that's all I've been gaming on.
Okay. All right. This is my turn. So as level of K-Bum let you know earlier, yes, I did get the jump on Marvel Rivals with K-Bum and crew. Mr. Norris was there. It was no longer leveled head down. It was Mr. Norris out. Mr. Norris back to the lobby. But anyway, so it felt good not to be the weak link. And K-Bum,
Okay, man. All right, man. All
let
right.
me say this. K-Bum does not care. This brother doesn't care how he makes you feel. Keith, follow me to the lobby. Yeah. We gonna go out and we gonna help him learn how to play. He gonna say that to all these perfect strangers, and I'm like, brother, you just gonna do me like that live in the game. So anyway, but I had to give it to him.
Don't call me PC.
He do help you. He did help the brother figure out what he needed to do and what character I should play with and all that. And I'm pretty sure Keith was handled with care, but he doesn't mind making you look bad as he's helping you. So it's like it's help, but it just feels hurtful at the same time.
I played college football. Don't nobody care about your feelings.
So, but yeah,
Nobody care.
Keith, and he don't, right? And he don't, because when he took you out to the lobby, Keith, I was like, boy, I got K-Bum. Man.
It would be different if I was running around saying I'm the best dude who's ever played Marvel Rivals.
Right.
I was fine. There was no pride about this at all. Like that boy trash. Yeah, you right. You right.
My thing is my crew is too competitive for us to be losing, and I know they weren't happy, so I had to get you up out of here.
Yeah,
They don't like losing.
They talk stuff, man. So anyway, I helped my own though. I actually got some pretty good kills in that game. So I played that, and also I've been playing through Ninja Gaiden, man. Black Ninja Gaiden 2 Black on the PlayStation 5. Man, I'm still enjoying it, but dude,
Still fighting that camera.
man, the cameras is trash. Like, oh my god, like you can't lock on anything. So I just don't remember it being this clumsical and this kind of. I just don't remember being this clumsy feeling. Like I be feeling clumsy, and I'm trying to do the little jump and dash with the you do that double dash, and I forgot what they call that, but I'm not hitting no enemies. I'm totally going across the other screen. There ain't nowhere around me. And it seems like the AI is a lot better. The the little enemies that you fight a lot smarter than I remember originally. But Ryu is a problem, bro. When he hitting, man, that brother is literally untouchable. Like, this brother's bad. But I'm enjoying that. What else? We Mario Kart. Got in some Mario Kart with the kids. Well, they was playing. I was watching, observing them play. Did I get any Ratchet and Clank in? No, I did not get any Ratchet and Clank in. So that's all I played on this week. So, yes. The boy got some game in. Right now, I think I'm on stage 5 on Ninja Gaiden. And I kind of like Squirrel Girl. Now you get what I meant when I was saying about Squirrel Girl, right, Keith?
Yeah, I saw her.
Yes, okay.
I saw her.
All right, so I know what I said last week kind of sound crazy, but once you see her, then you get what I meant.
No, I Googled her last week.
Oh. Slap yourself.
Slap yourself!
Anyway, so we got a few things on the deck. We got Capcom Spotlight, Shawn Layden's interview, Switch to Nintendo enough. I should have said is Switch to Nintendo enough. And then we got the PlayStation 4 drop from Plus. Now bring me something. Have Kendall bring me something to drink. So the question is, where we want to go first? What we want to touch on? Y'all hear my daughter? That's her.
I don't know. I did get a chance to watch the Capcom thing.
So let's go there.
If y'all want to go there,
let's go and go to Capcom. And see, this is why I should have had this already ready and queued up, but I don't. But anyway, yeah, Capcom kind of snuck a spot, I guess what they call a spotlight, and Nintendo has confirmed the mouse in the padding. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Capcom had what they call a spotlight, where they showed a few games that I guess we need to talk about. Mr. Norris, as I pull this up, or K-Bone, one of y'all, whoever got a chance to see it, kind of take over as I get things on my end together. I got a lot to do on my part. I got to go close out of this and jump in the deck. Go ahead, Keith. You can take over.
Oh, my bad. I was on mute talking to my son. Yes. The Capcom Spotlight. Yeah, so I didn't even know this was a thing until Level shared it with us. So they had the Capcom Spotlight with the Monster Hunter Wilds, and boy, did they show a lot of Monster Hunter Wilds. We can say that for the end, like they did. But they were going over some of the characters, and I think these was DLC characters in Street Fighter. They talked about.
Yeah,
thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes,
sorry,
they showed.
talking
I'm trying to get it up here. Just give me a second, you guys. I apologize. I should have had this already. Rest to go. Let me slap myself.
Slap yourself!
Well, I thought I had my chat up, and it didn't have it up, so I had to exit out of one and jump into the other one, and sometimes the computer want to act a little slower than I want to go. But go ahead, Keith. You got it.
Yeah, so they were talking about DLC characters for Street Fighter. They talked about what is it, Marvel vs. Capcom?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, are they doing? Now listen to me. I was working while trying to watch this, so y'all just gotta bear with me. Did I watch and see that they were doing a 3D version of what they were doing? Not Marvel vs. Capcom, but like the collection. Because I feel like I saw Power Stone and some other stuff that they were showing. Am I wrong about the Fighting Collection? Capcom Fighting Collection 2.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now.
So,
I got it.
Okay. And I just want to touch on this before you go into it. But it looked like it was SNK Marvel versus Capcom versus SNK 2, Power Stone 2, and I can't make out that middle something Justice.
Yeah.
And
they showed
the
that
Okami sequel.
See, I originally thought that was only coming to the Nintendo, but it's coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which you can then on your PlayStation. Well, hopefully you can still do this. I don't know with them in the PlayStation 4 Plus. You should be able to go over there and download that and play it on the PlayStation 5 still. So, but I thought it was. I remember them announcing that with at the Nintendo partnership. They announced that game. So, but go ahead. My bad. I interrupted.
Yeah, and the last one that really intrigued me was the Okami sequel. They showed a little bit of that and the art style of the wolf. I think the wolf was running. If you never played Okami, I've been seeing it go on sale several different times, either on the Nintendo Switch, PC. I believe it was a PS2 original. I ended up playing it on the Wii, and I thought it was a fantastic game. If you like games like Zelda or just going on the grand adventures like that, I think you will really enjoy Okami. Just for
And
that,
adventures.
yes, adventures. If you like going on adventures and got your backpack, no, I'm just playing.
Backpack.
I've seen it on sale all the way down to like $9.99. It's really a fantastic game to play. Now I'm going off nostalgia. I have no idea how that game plays in 2025, but when I played it the first time, it was a fantastic game, and I think anybody would enjoy it. And kind of get yourself ready for the sequel if you want to. It's a like I said, it's a cheap game to get into as far as like price, so it ain't gonna hurt the bank trying to play that game.
So the first thing they showed was Street Fighter 6. I got it up now, Keith. They showed Street Fighter 6, and I guess they showed is it Terry Fury from SNK, Final Fury, and is it Mai or May as her character being introduced to Street Fighter 6. Which I got Street Fighter 6, and the last person I purchased was Akuma. I haven't been playing Street Fighter 6 like I want to. And I don't think these new additions are really any characters that I want, but I may end up buying the pack and get all the characters. But I'm going to wait till they introduce all of them, then I may buy that pack at that time. I'm not playing enough Street Fighter 6 at this time to really care. When they get this character, it's a... Yeah, I'm gonna wait till they give all these characters out, then I'm gonna purchase it. But anything about this that you like?
For me, no. I don't play fighters really, not anymore.
Okay. So they came with the next game. They came was with what you was kind of. I think you was kind of already talking about, and that's the let me see, the Marvel.
I'm gonna say it was cool to see Terry though.
Yeah, it was. It was the Marvel's Capcom Fighting Collection. You was kind of talking about that. So that's that arcade classics.
Yeah.
So what about this
one? Now this looks good. I mean, of course, it's leaning heavy on the nostalgia in the arcades and stuff like that. No, I actually kind of like this. This be something I would like to play and show my kids, but then they too competitive. They be fighting, so they be fighting for real.
Yeah.
But this looks good.
Yeah,
not saying Street Fighter 6 DLC characters didn't. I'm just saying this looks,
I got you. My thing is, man, I remember buying the other collection with Street Fighter 3, all the Street Fighter 3s, and after you played through them a couple of times, I don't think I'm invested enough in it to. I may purchase it, but I don't know if I'm really invested enough. I like Street Fighters, but I like it for more of a when you got company over, a lot of people around, and you throw it in. Like it's almost like Mario Kart and Smash Bros and all that. It's you got a lot of dudes around, maybe even females. You throw it in, and everybody competing against each other. But to just sit down and just Street Fighters it up back to back, I don't think I'm that invested. I'm good. I'm decent at Street Fighters, and I like it, but I don't know, man. I may get it. But yeah, you was talking about Power Stones. It had, what else was on here? All the Power Stones. It had Punisher.
It was Project something. I ain't never heard of that. Project Force or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a few of them. So But if I was to get one, it'd probably be the Marvel versus Capcom one. Street Fighter's Alpha. No, I probably wouldn't be getting that one at all. Anything else on this? Well, I'm trying to get to some of the more. So here's the other one you was talking about with the dog. What's that called again?
Okami.
Okami.
Wait, K-Mon, you not into these fighters? You don't like Street Fighter in the games?
Nah.
So
Okay.
Okami, look, they ain't show much though. They just show kind of. They didn't show much. It looks like Okami coming into a Breath of the Wild type of setting. That's what it looked like, kind of giving me vibes of. But,
It's possible.
Anyway, let's cut through. So this is one I want to, because they said Resident Evil 2 remake was considered the best remake in the series that they had made. Now this ain't it. This is
Oh, that's that one game, Kunitsugami.
Yeah.
Path of the Goddess.
I'm a little ahead of y'all. I'm trying to see what this game that is a Dead. Yeah, Dead Rising Deluxe. I don't care about that. But dude, I might go get this Resident Evil 2 remake.
You hadn't played it?
No, I have not.
Brother.
I forgot all about it.
Brother.
Is it good?
Listen, when they say that's the best one, it's the best one.
It's better than 4?
Yeah, it's better than 4. I would have to say so. Okay. I think it's long enough. It's I don't know. It's just the right amount. I think 3 was fine. So it'd probably be 2, 4, 3. Or had they remade 5? They didn't remake 5. So there have to be 2, 4, and 3 in that order. And I think that I heard that they may be trying to remake the first one, which would be crazy.
Onimusha look like it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I didn't believe that they had hold it out to all the way to 2026. Man, that's kind of far way out. But it looked like it's gonna be good. K-Bone, you ain't.
I mean, honestly, I'm not a Capcom fan. I'll be honest here. I didn't play on a issue. Didn't play that. Didn't care for it. Didn't play. I don't play Street Fighters. I played the Street Fighter 2 when it came out, playing arcades. Didn't care for it. And the home console. Don't play. I played Marvel versus Capcom, but it's not my game, but my fighting game of choice. So I'm just it. To me, Capcom doesn't really do it for me.
Man.
Yeah, to be honest, Resident Evil, I've never liked Resident Evil. So I played 1, and I'm like, that's trash.
You need to play 4,
that camera
bro.
trash.
You need to play 2 and 4.
I played 2. I'm like, that's not getting any better. I played 3. I'm like, yeah,
I'm talking about the
okay.
remake. You played any other remakes?
I watched my homie play 4. I watched the original 4 back when it was on the game. I saw it on the GameCube. Because my homie had it, was on the GameCube. I watched that, and I'm like, oh, okay. I watched my homie play on a issue. It just nothing. It didn't appeal to me. Resident Evil 4 still didn't appeal to me. Didn't care for it. Don't care for it. I played the demo, and I'm like, ugh.
What's up, Jared, man? Welcome to the show. Hey, bro, let me say this, bro, Jared, man. You might be correct, bro. DLSS4 may actually be on the Switch too. But anyway, that's not a topic for today. I just wanted to correct myself. I ran across some stuff that you might be right about that. But go ahead, K-Bump. You were saying you don't like
No, he said who doesn't like Resident Evil, and I say that be me. That I be him.
Okay,
crazy work.
Right,
I don't, bro. I tried my hardest to play Nemesis.
But you a story guy.
Okay, the story's trash.
No,
it's not.
It hurt my heart.
Trash. It's
convoluted at this point, though. But it hurt my heart.
It's never care for the story. Never.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Never.
Now, I can't say I played I played Resident Evil 4. I played the remakes on the GameCube 1, and then I played Resident Evil 6 on the 360, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the 360. Or was it the 1? It was 360. No, Resident Evil 5 on the 360. Storyline wise, I think Resident Evil 4 story was good.
I'm not talking about 4 story. I'm only referring to 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's
I,
what
I
I'm
didn't
asking.
I didn't play four. I watched someone play four. I'm only referring to the ones that I played.
I believe if you played through the remake of 2 and 4, I think you would actually like it.
Nah,
I think you would. What you think,
ain't
Keith?
gonna happen.
What you think, Keith?
I think he would like too.
Yeah,
I think
it
he would like
plays
too.
different. Go ahead,
I
Keith. Go ahead.
I'll play another bad Zelda game before I play Resident Evil.
Woo, wait a
Bro, but
minute.
you basing it off. I can get you. I get you with the. I get you with the 2. And I get you with
Original.
Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube and PlayStation 2. Because you had to stop and shoot. It's not like that in the new one. It's they changed all that. They really.
I played the demo for 4 when you guys were talking about it, the remake, and I did not enjoy myself.
Okay. Well,
I,
maybe
I,
not.
I think 2 would suit you better. I think the original ones, the tank controls, I can see how they could be off putting. You know, those
Yeah.
tank controls, they don't translate well into 2025, 2024, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
It didn't translate when you played it. What you
Yeah,
talking
even
about? When
then
you
it wasn't
played it, it
great.
didn't transfer. I was playing Metal Gear Solid that time. I'm like, this is movement. What am I
I
doing
got it.
here?
I figured it out. I got it. I was like, okay, no problem.
Yeah, I got over it.
But I do think 2 will be a better sale for you because it's what am I trying to say? There's puzzles, of course, but I think it's more straightforward. I think it's more straightforward than 4. I think 4 kind of all over the place a little bit. If
Yeah.
you've never played the games,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know.
I played the demo of 2 remake, and it was good. I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason I didn't
Now
buy
that
it,
game was amazing.
I punked out. I punked out. That's why I didn't buy it. I was like, I ain't trying to play. I was kind of done at the Dead Space and all them type of games. I was kind of done with them type of games. And then Resident Evil 4, I almost punked out, but I ended up getting over that, and then it was pretty easy after that. But
What about
yeah,
7?
I haven't
Resident Evil
played. I
7?
haven't played anything post 5, as far as the new ones. I didn't play 6 or 7.
I didn't play 6 or
I think I
5,
played
5 or 6.
I think
No, I
I
played
played.
5.
I played the demo of 7. Ain't that in the first person perspective?
Yeah,
Yeah, I played.
that one might tickle your fancy. I mean,
I
it's
know.
still Resident Evil at its core, but it's in first person.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. It didn't. It tickled. It was tickling too much, and I
Hmm?
put it
Got
down.
it.
So anyway, I ain't stuck K-Bum. All right, so Keith,
Wait.
you brought up this Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah,
They had like a showcase for it as well. So what was your thoughts on it? I didn't watch. I'm gonna be honest with you. How K-Bum feels about Resident Evil, I kind of feel that way about Monster Hunter. I just don't care. And so as soon as the presentation for the other stuff went off, I kind of turned off at that point. So I didn't watch any of the Monster Hunter stuff. So you had to take the floor here because you kind of seem to stick around for that. It looks good though, visually.
no, it looks good. And I didn't watch the whole thing. Like I said, I was working, and as stuff was coming in, and I didn't get a chance to just stick around. Monster Hunter is I think my first time playing Monster Hunter was on the Wii U, and I played with a coworker for like one day, and we never really went back. He probably kept playing, but I didn't keep playing. Not because it wasn't fun. It just kind of like how I am now with the Marvel Rivals. It's like, oh, you got to get everybody together and play, and that's where Monster Hunter shine. It's not some game that you go out there and just play by yourself and have the story. It's one of those games you are supposed to get the homies together and y'all go out there and play.
Gotcha.
And that's the whole point of it. So if you do but at the same time, I say that, but if the gameplay don't get you, then it don't matter. But it's definitely a game that you play with a lot of friends because it's the whole point of trying your best to take down a monster.
Right.
a huge monster, and so it's competitive in that nature. You know, it's not like we're competing against each other, but it's competitive and trying to see who can do the most damage and all that other stuff. But the graphically, man, it looks really really good. If I were to play this game, I would have to play it day one and with some friends. Is she in here? Okay, I don't see her. But but yeah, I would have to play it that way. But if I wait until the game go on sale and stuff like that, I probably won't have interest in playing it. I think it's one of the games but like I said, you just got to play with friends, and again, you got to actually do stuff. From my experience with Monster Hunter, you got to I think you cook in this game, so you got to prepare for battles. When you're fighting, sometimes you got to go out to the side to get your guy healed. You got to use a whetstone to sharpen your blades. Like it ain't just like press a button and you go right back out to the action. No, you actually have to consider like, dang, I'm getting beat up. I need to take five and step to the side real quick while everybody's still fighting. You know, so you do have to take into consideration of like those types of things. So that's why probably a lot of people like it, because in that aspect, that's a kind of a realistic way of playing versus just pressing a button and just meleeing your way through a game. It ain't like that. So
Yeah, when I did play, I think I jumped on with a few other players from back in that time when I was kind of really really hard into the community and was jumping in with. I can't remember what I think. I want to say Red Knight and all them, but I can't remember who I was all in with. And like you said, I enjoyed it from that angle, but when I was playing on my own and trying to really figure out what I didn't, kind of like with Marvel's Rivals.
mm-hmm.
If I'm not playing with y'all, I don't think I will enjoy Marvel Rivals. Now, Helldivers is fun because it's to me Helldivers makes it's clear from the gate. It's not hard to pick up and contribute and do what they ask you to do. Whereas Rivals, you got to learn characters, you got to learn which one works for you. They all play different, they all do different things, and you expected to do certain things to contribute to the team. And that's kind of difficult for me when I don't play them type of games. And that's kind of how Monster Hunter was. It was like, what am I supposed to be doing, and how do I do it, and where are we doing it? I got to go do what? And we got to read this and go travel over here to find, okay. And I played one time with them, and then I played one time by myself, and it just didn't translate. So I'm not saying I couldn't get into it, because it does look good, but I would probably have to play with you, or if K-Bun was somebody, or Kania, or whomever, I had to get in this with y'all and play and have y'all as company to kind of give me what I need to be doing, or I wouldn't survive or nothing like this.
So one of the main things, if you're going to play by yourself, is you're more than likely trying to farm. So let's say you're like, I was getting my butt handed to me last time we played together because I needed a better weapon. Well, you can go out there by yourself, farm, get your weapon, then jump back in with everybody else.
Gotcha.
You know, so that's like, if you're going to go out there by yourself, just make sure you there's an objective. You know,
and this is kind of Souls-like too.
I guess you could say that.
These bosses are not the bosses I've came across was not easy bosses. These I'm like, man, how you beating that on your own? So it got Soul-like elements in it when it comes to over the top, very difficult to beat bosses. It kind of has some Soul.
I don't think it's soul. I think it's just meant to be beat with people.
Company.
That's
what
because that's how Destiny was, right? Destiny wasn't built for you to just solo and go out there and beat it. Destiny was built, and so like their health pool was kind of built for multiple people. And if you try to solo it, yeah, it's gonna take you a while to kill him because he's usually taking damage from 4 people.
Reason I said that is because when Elden Ring, it reminded me of Elden Ring. When I was playing Elden Ring, I'm like, how do I supposed to take this down by myself? And I'm like running for my life and dodging and being one-shotted, half-shotted, a third-shotted, and dead. I'm like, man, this ain't it. You know, so I did give Elden Ring a try again, you guys, and I failed a second time. So anything else with this title, we can move on. So the showcase was cool. I mean, how you said that?
Musha.
Animushu was good. It did intrigue me to go back and give Resident Evil 2 remake a gander. Street Fighters, I said, I'm gonna get all those characters. I'm just gonna buy the whole pack. I can probably buy that now, but it was a little more than I wanted to spend. But it was cool, man. It dropped out of nowhere. Cool. Anytime you can get some new stuff with games. I do like Capcom. I think they need to do something with the Mega Man. Like they need to reinvent Mega Man, in my opinion. That'd be a dope thing to do.
So can I say this while we're talking about that? I've never finished a Mega Man.
I finished one my entire life, and that was X.
So I'm not one never finished it. So I've only played maybe 2, maybe 3 Mega Mans in my life before. That's including the mobile, not mobile ones, but the handheld ones.
Okay.
So and even I mean back even old. I'm not a fan of Mega Man. It's just never clicked with me. It never cares. So I've never been a fan.
I did not tell the truth. I did finish Mega Man Legends, or was it Mega Man 64 when it finally came to the 64? Because I think it was a PlayStation game at first. So I did Mega Man Legends and X. Everything else, I played them, loved them as a kid, couldn't beat them.
I beat Mega Man 2. I never played 1. I beat Mega Man 2. I got to the final aspects of Mega Man 3. Then all the rest of them was just too difficult to even just stick with. Now, at that time, we was renting stuff. I didn't own. I beat Mega Man 2 because we ended up buying it from Funflix. They had sold it. I guess it had been on the shelf long enough. They pulled it off and sold it. So we bought it, and I ended up beating it. But 3, I was renting it all the time, and then every time I get deep into it, I had to take it back. And that's when you had to say the passwords to get back to all that type of stuff. I don't know. Kids don't know nothing about that these days. Saving passwords, and you didn't just turn off the system, come back to where you was. You had to start all over from the beginning. So anyway, so that was the Capcom spotlight. Real quick, let's go to. I think we can go to. I think doing the interview with Shawn will give us the opportunity to cover the other 2 topics because of the conversation. So I'm not going to sit here. I don't want to talk about everything in this interview, but there were a couple of things that Shawn talked about that I found intriguing that I kind of want to discuss with you guys on tonight. So I'm gonna pull this up. Did you get a chance to go check out what I put up, K-Bon?
Yeah.
All right. So what about you, Keith?
I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't. We was coming to the house too kind of late.
All right. I think you can catch on as we go. But he had a pretty lengthy interview here with the former CEO and chairman of PlayStation, Shawn Layden. And like I said, we're not going to talk about the whole interview. Like last week, we kind of talked about Phil Spencer's interview, and we kind of pulled out certain segments in that interview. And I thought Shawn shared some things that was pretty interesting with this one. One was, and I'm trying to find it, he was talking about the realistic graphics not being sustainable. And I'm going to play this and let you guys hear it, and then we're going to discuss.
Well, you initiated that. You pushed for Horizon and Last of Us and stuff.
So,
but
let's
were
just
you
listen.
aware of that at the time? Were you aware of like where this would potentially end up in terms of like, oh, hang on, this isn't sustainable?
There's a cognitive dissonance that can occur and probably is required for most executives. Can you hold 2 opposing ideas in your head at the same time? One idea in my head at the time was, wow, this expense curve is extreme. We're doubling the cost of development every generation of hardware. But over here, half my brain says, this game looks so awesome, though. So we just get behind it. We'll find a way to pull the money together. We'll get this thing done. It's going to be amazing. So balancing those 2 ideas in my head at the same time, that, yes, I'm kind of pushing the cost curve out because of what we're trying to achieve here. But I know that over time, this is going to be an albatross around the neck of the industry. Um, and then I think with PS5, we probably turned the corner on that, and uh, we are in a very expensive game right now. And the fact that there's been no meaningful movement on the price of a game since I started in this industry 25 years ago.
Yeah.
PS1 games, $59.99, and cost, as little as $1 million to make a PS1 game.
That's crazy.
And even the big hitters back then would cost you 10 million to make. And then now in the world of infinite memory and amazing GPU and CPU power, you see games costing in excess of $200 million already,
Which is
and
crazy.
still can only charge $59.99.
So,
But there's a sliding scale in terms of pricing.
so let's talk about that. Keith, did you hear all that? K-Bon, I know you saw it. So what he was saying was, the question was asked, did he see this coming with, where gaming is right now and the expense of making games? And Shawn kind of brought up, he'd been in the industry for a while. He even go back to when PlayStation 1 games, their top AAA games will only cost $1 million to $10 million at $59.99 a game, and now with faster GPUs and stronger CPUs and infinite all this type of stuff, the bells and whistles of the day, games are costing upwards of $200 million, and they saw this as a problem in the PlayStation 4 era, and it's really coming to a head with the PlayStation 5. That is, in his mind, is not really sustainable, especially when the cost of the purchase of a game is only now, I guess, $69.99. But at that time, $59.99. The cost to purchase wasn't sustainable, and he kind of acknowledging that. So I'm curious your thoughts. I'm gonna come with you, K-Bun, first, and then Keith, I'm gonna give you a chance to bring your thoughts to it. Go ahead, K-Bun.
I guess the first thing that popped up to me, honestly, and I'll say this honestly. First thing that popped up to me is that the prices of games have skyrocketed. Sorry, the prices of game development has skyrocketed, but not the price of games. It's a $10 difference between when the games were costing $1 million to $10 million to make, and now up to $200 million to make, and we're paying, it's a $10 difference. And so to me, I'm like, they probably could be charging us a whole lot more for video games right now, but they're not. So that was the first thing that kind of stuck out to me. And another thing that kind of stuck out in this conversation, he was kind of discussing trying to do both things, right? As a CEO, trying to make sure to reduce the this curve that was showing up in gaming, as far as development prices increasing, and but also trying to deliver the fact that these games look absolutely amazing, and trying to find the balance between these two forces that are kind of counteracting against each other, and the fact that it's hard to make that decision to say no, let's not pursue this higher level of quality, or higher level of graphics, or even higher level of sound. We also have to understand that we have full actors being played to play these roles. Like this isn't some person doing kung fu moves in their basement, or even like looking at Mortal Kombat. Just had random people, in the studio doing kung fu moves. This ain't that anymore. We have full blown actors, which is also putting in the cost of development, right? A part of these the game making process. So it's interesting to hear his point of view, seeing that he's the CEO and his focus is different than us as gamers, right? His focus is, how do I make money, right? Or how do I maximize the money I make? And it is different hearing from his perspective of trying to reduce that, but also trying to make sure the product that he produces is unique and makes people even want to buy it. So I thought it was a very interesting point. I actually thought his the way he explained it was very, very well.
I wanted to add this in, and I'm bring you in, Keith. remember at one point games actually cost more than that. Like I remember before on the 64, Zelda cost me like $80, and WWE versus NWO cost me $100. So the PlayStation kind of changed that with the disc, but them cartridges was costing a heck of a lot. But go ahead, even when them games wasn't costing no 20 and 30 million, them games probably maybe $1 million, $2 million, $3 million at the most. Go ahead, Keith. The floor is yours.
Now I know I'm gonna struggle a little bit. My kids came in here. They like to mess around right when it's bedtime. Like, nah, it's time to play. Like, no.
I know that life.
It's crazy. So basically, he was talking about the price of development, and he's shocked that it's so high now. What was he saying? I'm so sorry.
He was saying. So what he was saying was, as he was over Sony, he can remember when games development was like between $1 million to $10 million. A good game and a AAA game will be at the most $10 million, and they begin to see how the cost of graphics, the cost of realism, and like K-Bump said, I didn't even think about that. The cost of music and real voice actors playing these games and all the stuff they was doing, that the games had taken on a different life. Like they had become pretty much one-to-one with Hollywood. And in the game industry, the cost of the game to produce it versus what they selling it for, the trade-off wasn't sustainable. And the PlayStation 5 is that's really the problem, is that we're at a place where that inability to sustain that is starting to show its head. And he, like, as an owner, and K-Bump kind of brought this out too, and that did stand out to me. On one side, I love the graphics. It's compelling, and it just really is awesome. But at the same time, I gotta manage the cost and how to balance both these worlds. How to get that awesome looking game with all those bells and that surreal that almost look lifelike, but then look at how much it costs to make that game, and look at what we having to do. We make it all our games, because all of Sony's first party games is like that. So the thoughts is, how do you feel about the fact that he's acknowledging that that model is pretty much not sustainable currently?
Yeah. So yeah, we did kind of talk about this several times, but it's good to hear him say it. How games like this aren't sustainable. Like there's a lot of things that that these companies' decisions that they've made. Like we used to talk about Xbox, and we say doing it that way isn't sustainable because even their games cost a lot of money, and then to just give them away for free or through a subscription service is not sustainable. And Sony's having to deal with their own situations where they're making, they're building games. I think, what do you say, $200 million now? That's like more than some. Like you look at some movie, their budget isn't even that high. A whole movie, and these games are coming out that way, and getting those celebrities. We understand that that's part of the marketing. That's what's going to draw you in. But I don't really think it draws you in as a gamer. If they were like, "Oh, we got Will Smith to play the lead character for this game," I wouldn't care. Like for games, I think what Sony and all these people need to do, and I'm in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about Nintendo, is just focus on what the gamers want, focus on the gameplay, and focus on that first, and then build up. I think a lot of shock value is going into driving these prices up. Looking at Call of Duty, even though Call of Duty does have a return, Call of Duty is like one of some people that I didn't even think would ever be in video games were in Call of Duty, which is crazy. But I like the fact that he's acknowledging it. I'm curious to know, and is this the guy that was trying to do all those live service games, or is that somebody else?
No. This is a guy before him.
Before him, okay. Yeah, so I guess you can kind of see why he was trying to do live service games because he wanted they've always wanted to make money over time. I look at GTA as the model. You know, they built a great game first, then they gave you GT Online, and that game is still selling to this day. And they all want that. They all want that Minecraft money, that Fortnite
He actually gave an
money.
example. The example he gave was Fortnite.
Yeah,
Fortnite,
I
yeah,
got to pull up. We use Fortnite and Roblox,
yeah.
right?
So
Yeah,
they all want that. They all are chasing that. You know, they don't. I don't know. Like I said, I can't give a real strong opinion about this because I didn't get a chance to just really get into it. I was so busy today. But yeah, everybody's looking for that one thing that's going to be sustainable because it is expensive. And like you, Level, I remember when Nintendo 64 games were $80.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times they were talking about it because of the cartridge that comes with it. But then, you know, we get into the disc era, the DVDs, and then they say, oh, but once you buy it digitally, the price will go down. That didn't happen. The
Yeah.
prices remain the same because we were supposed to be. They were saying that the price was this high because of the art book, the jewel case that it came with, the disc. All of that goes away, and I'm still paying the same price. Games are expensive. Period. It's an expensive hobby. It's expensive to make.
God, LeBron. Jesus. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm watching the game. That brother just hit three
He,
threes in
he
a row.
he probably traveled when he did it.
yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. I had to
He
say
say
something on
he
that third
probably
one.
traveled.
That brother shot that
That boy
from
be-
Pulaski. Man, he was half court when he shot that. Go ahead. My bad, Keith.
yeah.
The floor is
But
yours.
yeah, I mean, I can piggyback off from someone because I feel like I'm just going to be saying the same thing over and over again.
So you brought up Fortnite and he and Roblox, and I'm gonna say this, and he has some stuff to say about this, and I've never talked about this, but my house is a Roblox house. That's what my kids play, and so let's listen to this.
As the younger generations appear to be very entrenched on live service platforms such as Fortnite and Roblox, how do you see the rest of the industry adapting to this as those players get older?
Well, I think any game player who's who's serious about gaming wants to try different things over time. I mean, we may go way down the rabbit hole and maybe just playing FIFA um, every day for a year. But as we get older, we want to try different things and new experiences. So I think in time they will come out and to try other games that are around us. But you're right; it's taking up a lot of their time now. It's it's absorbing a lot of energy uh, from the game market that's not going to other games that are coming out. It'll be interesting.
That's
I
kind
think
of
we
what
were talking the
K-Bug
other
brought
day
up.
with another person about how 17-year-olds in 2025 are so different from 17-year-olds in 2005.
For sure.
You know, we talk about demographics. Well, this is the 17 to 24 demographic. This is the 32 to 38 demographic. But we got to understand those definitions which we made 20 years ago really don't apply today. And I think the business is entrenched in some old style demographic marketing, which may have been relevant 15 years ago. They've really got to pull out and take a brand new look at who the gamers are. What are they playing? Why are they playing? I'm sure people are saying, we're doing a lot of that research. Yeah, but are you asking the right questions? It's a different market. I didn't have to compete against TikTok
Yeah.
for players' times when I was making games.
Yeah.
I'd have to compete against all the social media platforms that were out there at the time. That is the problem because of all the, we think we have infinite money and infinite capabilities and more teraflops than you can shake a stick at. There's still only 24 hours in the day. And that's the biggest competitive field is people's time. And people are very stingy with their time, rightly so. So to get them out of the thing they love doing, you have to present them with something better. And there's just more things to fight against now.
So basically, what he said is that the kids of the day are not, the 17-year-old of today is not like the 17-year-old back in the day. And he said the industry is still following a antiquated, old model. And that these new gamers are just different. He said he's also went on to say that they didn't have to compete against TikTok and all these other things that's vibing for attention. And like I said, my daughters, back in the day, I'd be pulling my head out if my pop said or my mom said I couldn't play my Nintendo. My daughters, them, if I say no, you can't play the Wii or the Switch, they like, okay, hey, I got my tablet, I'm gonna play Roblox. I'm gonna play, and they go get their Roblox box bucks, and they buy their characters, and they playing online, and they talking to people across the world. I'm seeing chats up. They already doing all that on their little cheap Samsung tablet, and they fine. I remember watching my boy Keith, K-Bum, this ministry. His son, I remember we'd be at the football game because both our sons are playing football together, and his son would be on his phone playing NBA 2K on the phone with the virtual controller. They're in a different world than us, and what he was saying is the industry, as far as the gaming industry, the main industry hasn't adapted to the nuances of what the gamers of today are into and why a Fortnite, why Roblox, and all these games are so trendy and so popular to them. And what he said, if you want their attention, you're gonna have to give them something that draws it. But anyway, I'll let you kind of take over, K-Bum, and add to that. But I found this conversation interesting as well.
So he was actually, so this was the conversation that led into live services and the reason why we're seeing so many live services, because we talked about giving them what they wanted. So he was kind of talking about live services, and I know it's not in this particular conversation, so it's not what we heard, but it's what he actually said. He talked about that the market itself, and this is what the problem people are running into. He talked about
I can go
the
there too,
failed.
K-Bum. You want me to pull up the one with the live services?
I don't know if we're going. I know the kind of his point that he's making here. I mean, I don't have to go there exactly. But the point he was making, or I'll go there real quickly. I don't know if we need the video. I'll try to be quick.
Okay, go ahead.
He was making that for live services. To be honest, only so many can be viable at the same time. Reason being, like I'm playing Marvel Rivals right now, and that's a live service, and it takes a lot of my time. And as you guys actually talked about, my game list has shrunk. I'm usually 3-4 games, right? 3-4-5 games playing. I'm only playing 2 games right now because I spent a lot of time on Marvel Rivals, and as Level kind of stated, you got to learn the character, you got to maximize the character, you got to understand how your character plays against other characters. You have to learn how to counter those characters, and that takes time to do that. And then there's a new character introduced. You have to learn that character, or even learn how to counter that character, or play against that character. So it's a lot of time that I put into each day by just playing Marvel Rivals. And the thing is, I'm only playing one live service game. I guess 2K, if you want to call that, but I don't think 2K is live service. And so there's only so many live services game one person can play. So therefore, there's only so many live services games that can be supported by the community at one time. And that saturation point is what the industry is reaching, and that's what they're coming into. And that's why you can't just take any idea and turn into a live service. And that's why we saw Suicide Squad fail. That's why we saw Concord fail, and why we've seen some of these other live services that I know off the top of my head right now that all failed this year, because you can only have so many, because you have to give them a reason to move Johnny off of Helldivers to play your new game. You have to give them a reason to stop playing Fortnite or to spend less time on Fortnite and come play your game. And it has to be viable enough that occurs. And so I thought it was a good conversation. I liked hearing it from his perspective, because he's corporate, right? He's not the gamer. And even though Phil Spencer tries very hard to be the gamer, you're still corporate, right? You're the guy in the video talking about, hey, cool kids, what are we doing? You're still that. Let's not get it twisted. But it's interesting hearing him talk about it, and that's one of the reasons why these live services. But that's what the industry is chasing after. And to answer your question directly, because you talked about about the industry and the kids at this point. I did want to say this level. I don't know how it was in your house level, but when I was a kid, I don't know about you, Keith. When I was a kid, I had to get permission to play video games. I couldn't just hop on when I wanted to. Right? I had to get permission
Yeah.
to play.
Well,
Um,
yes
I,
and no. I say
yes
yes
and
and
no.
no.
Okay, 'cause during the school day, on the weekend, yeah, there's more lenience on the weekend. When the school day, I couldn't just do that. And you have to understand, we weren't. I wasn't playing video games from sun up to sundown. I
Right,
was.
right.
We were going outside. We were going to activities. We were leaving the house. Like we were doing other things other than just video games. And it wasn't that 24/7 type of thing. But we have to understand, video games now is a 24. People are uh, video game is consumed all day, every day, and it's just a much different audience than it was back we were growing up because like you were playing your friends and like, but it wasn't a 24/7 type of thing when it came to video game every waking moment. But now some kids, that's what it is. So I'll digress and leave my point, but I thought I wanted to address that.
No, to answer your question, yes, we did. We could we access the Nintendo through the Wii? Yes, but it was doing set times. And if we didn't get our chores done or didn't get homework done and our grades wasn't right, don't touch that system. But between these times, you can play. It'll be about a couple hours. And then on the weekend,
Just a couple hours, okay,
yeah,
just a couple. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
right. We didn't get to play all night because you only had one. You only had one TV in the house for real. You didn't have
To be honest,
TVs all over the house. You had one TV. That was the main
that's true.
TV. And then you was lucky if they went and bought you a little cheap, small little tube TV.
Little tube TV.
They
Yep.
don't remember K-Bun. We had to get the little screwdriver out and take the little two prongs and stick them under the antenna thing. That's how you hooked the Nintendo up. You didn't
My,
have
my
H.
my first one was black and white. My first TV was a
Yeah.
black and white 11-inch TV that I played my Nintendo
Woo!
on.
Man.
So, but I got it queued up where he kind of talking about what you were saying, but I want to give Mr. Norris an opportunity to share his thoughts on it if he want to, or I can play the video.
I mean, we my y'all.
Shouts
I
out
hear
to
talk about it all the
Dark
time.
Queen Dragon. I see you over there, bro. Shouts out. Welcome to the show. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time that my kids play Roblox. My son was literally just playing Roblox. He has, and we can move forward after this, but he has graduated from just playing Roblox, jumping around,
Hey.
hoopity hoopity hoo, hoopity hoopity hoo.
Mhm.
Now I told you that, and both of them actually, not just him, but I told you that he's playing Marvel Rivals. But now he's on Roblox playing first person shooters. He's on Roblox playing different types of competitive games with his cousins.
Oh wow.
Like it ain't just da 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 run around in a circle. Like he's playing mouse and keyboard, shooting and competing with people around the world. Roblox is one of those games. Like it doesn't appeal to me, but I'd be honest if I said I wouldn't have fun playing that. You know, it's one of those games that has everything that everybody would want in a simpler package, and that's their hook. Like these kids have access to, well, I ain't gonna say kids. These people have access to a variety of games, similar to how Microsoft or Xbox One's Game Pass to be. Here's a variety of games, but Roblox is already doing it and doing it very successfully. You know,
So
when
you get to
K-Bone was
play
talking
different
about,
genres of games in one game, basically.
yes,
Same,
they
same thing
got
with Fortnite. Fortnite has racing. Fortnite has Rock Band. Fortnite has Legos. Fortnite has a creator mode where you can create your own game. But yeah, it's very similar.
right, and I was just going to give you credit because he brought the K-Bone brought that up
Mm-hmm.
and was talking about how Fortnite has expanded. At first, it was just a little shooter thing. Now it's expanded to all of these different things, and these kids, and like y'all just mentioned, They got the one thing that we don't really have anymore, and that's time.
That's true.
They have the time. Like I look at a game like Mario Maker. Ain't no way in the world I'm playing Mario Maker. If you don't make a stage for me, Mario Maker's not getting played. I'm not making a stage.
Guess what, Keith? We used to do it in the sight bike all the time.
Yeah,
Spend
I'm sitting there
all
and
day
think
making a stage
all
in the
day.
sight bike.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We don't have that time no more. We be like, hey man, you better make this stage for me. So
Better
yeah,
make these 2 hours count.
Bringing that up,
But
Keith, that's why I don't like reading that no more. I don't have time to sit and
oh
read.
no, where you at?
Ooh.
No, but I will say this though. Here's a question that nobody has to answer this right now. If you were 17 again, I guess since that's the number he used, and you had these games at your disposal, what would you be doing?
Not homework.
Exactly. So it's crazy, and I hate it for these kids because I know how to switch gears. Like K-Bone was saying, I know how to switch gears, go outside, run down the street, breathe some air, touch grass.
Touch
You know what I'm
grass.
saying? Like I'm gonna be all right, but I also know that I can dedicate an hour or two to playing my favorite video game. Like I had that balance. Like that's why I'm glad I got my kids out doing other stuff, like skating, like we was doing tonight. Like it's just a crazy. It's a different world, you know. So
Yeah, like thing is too. Back in our day, we didn't have. Well, yeah, you had the Game Boy, but a tablet. You can go buy your kid a tablet for $50, and that tablet, they don't care about the graphics. Like I couldn't play Roblox. It looks like a wannabe Minecraft to me. It looks horrible, but they love it, and they can go outside with their tablet. They can play with their friends with their tablet. They can draw on their tablet. They can download apps on their tablet. They have so many games for free that they control when they want to, and don't let them grab your phone. My phone has so many games I know I didn't put on there that I have to delete, taking up all my space. I'm like, I didn't put this. Who put this game on here? And it'll be my kids. If they get my phone, go through my apps, downloading games. It's just, like he said, it's a different world and you playing by different rules. You playing by older set of rules that don't apply right now. And you're not getting those. Don't get me wrong, they are there. My kids love the Switch. And they come and ask me to play the Switch all the time. They ask me to play the PlayStation 5. But they're not broken and hurt if I say no. They got their take on. All right, well, cool. Hey, I got something to do. Back to this Roblox. Back to all this other stuff I got on this thing. I'm combing hair. I'm building. I'm painting. I'm coloring. So yeah, they got a lot to take their time up, and they got a lot of time to be taken up, and that free to play and those free apps is winning them right now. So I'm gonna play this part where you was talking about K-Bomb. Here you go.
Okay.
I mentioned before about how the finance sector in the actual gaming world is trying to stop that curve being like this, right? The peaks and valleys, and that's partly why maybe the games as a service model came to be, to kind of get constant revenue, but it looks like that's having problems as well. I mean, Concord was a disaster for Sony.
It's
I'll
crazy
let that
how
one hang right there.
Yeah, what's
it's
that?
crazy how
Yeah, well,
candid
I'm
they
just,
are that they're not over the
well,
company.
I'm trying to understand how you get to that point, because there must have been a lot of
true.
data that they were looking at, and they must have done like online testing and so forth to kind of gauge what the feedback is and how popular they think it might be. So I don't actually understand how those type of scenarios happen.
Games as a service, live service gaming, games, we used to call it persistent world. There's all these different ways to describe that. It's just a place that people will log on to on a regular cadence and maybe buy something for their character or buy something to give them ability in the game of some kind. And people enjoy that. Fortnite is the poster child for that entire business and how that works. And a lot of people saw that, so that's amazing because you have the same game out there. You're not spending money on developing a new game. You're just sort of feeding the monster you've created. And with standard, subscription models or a robust DLC component to it, you can modulate or mediate that peak and valley issue that you're talking about earlier. You have this steady revenue coming through across that, and that's a financial model that's super healthy, super great. Everyone loves that. The problem we see in the market is, and this we didn't have the data on this before, so we're kind of learning this in real time. I believe is the charitable answer. Is that how many live service games can be successful at any one moment?
Yeah, well,
The answer obviously is not 20. Yeah, there's a certain amount of people, and coming up with the next great live service game,
out at one.
you have to not only have a great game, you have to compel people to take their time away from where they are to come over and invest time in where you are. There's a switching cost. I don't think a lot of people play 4 or 5 live service games at the same time.
No.
You're like all into 1 or 2, and that's it. And so for you to come out with another one, you're trying to get people to come over here. Stop spending so much time doing that thing you love and come over here and try this thing you don't know. And that's a hard proposition. It's not just the selling of the game. It's convincing people that they should take away some of the time they're really enjoying doing this thing over there to come over to your unknown thing and invest their time there. And it's not like a single player game or a narrative play game. It's like I can do my live service thing with you, but I'm going to just play Elden Ring and just to see that whole experience and get the thing done and go yay, and then go back to where I'm having my daily hit of Fortnite or whatever it is. So I think a lot of people looked at that model and said that's really healthy. That's really it's high profitability. But the market can only absorb so much at any given time, and I think that's why there's several companies who have launched their live service games in the last 12 months who have pretty much pulled the plug on them before the year is out.
So basically, everything you said, K-Bum, he said it. It's you can't have 20 live server games out at one time. There's only so much time. And if I'm enjoying what I'm doing over here, why should I leave what I'm enjoying and having fulfillment at to come and see if I would like what you doing? He I'm gonna be honest with you. He's spitting some. He giving some gems. He talking. He talking sense. He talking sense. Any thoughts on? Any more thoughts on? I just kind of wanted to show what you had. What you was kind of talking about. What he said. I want to go here.
I did have a quick thought on that, and I just wanted to quickly say that this what he's explaining is the reason is one of the reasons why Overwatch is slowly hemorrhaging right now. I'm not gonna say dying because it's not dead, but Overwatch is struggling right now, and it's because a new shiny thing has been successful in getting people off of something that they enjoyed doing, which was playing Overwatch. And Overwatch right now is in struggle mode. A lot of my content creators that I watch for Overwatch are all playing Marvel Rivals. All of them. The guy who his channel is called Your Overwatch is putting out Marvel Rivals content. And he's on his Your Overwatch YouTube channel saying that Marvel Rivals is a much better game than Overwatch, and it's the game that he always wanted Overwatch to become, but it never did. Shawn Layden is spitting fire. The fact that you can only have so many, and that's why I don't understand why the guy after him didn't understand that. He was just chasing trends and wanted to make everything a live service. But you have to have the fan base to support your live service. Live service means people are continuously jumping on, playing it every single day. Every live service game has a daily reward, and what that reward is the carrot on the stick to make you come back every day and play it. So I leave it at that because I can go way longer than that, but I'll just leave it at that so we can keep moving.
Okay, Keith, you got anything to add?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, he did talk about why the Vita failed, but I want to get to. He talked about Sony characters won't appear in Smash Bros. I didn't really listen to that part well, but I do want to look at what he said here. He gave his opinion on Microsoft's multi-platform approach. Y'all want to look at that one? Or
Say it one more time.
he gave his
Yeah, I'm
thoughts
there.
on Microsoft's multi-platform approach. Let's listen to that one too,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
and then we go to the Nintendo one. Then we'll move on. So let's go.
What is Shawn's opinion on Microsoft's latest business strategy of making their IPs multi-platform, and will it increase or diminish Xbox brand value in the eyes of gamers?
Multi-platform is a strategy. Multi-platform, particularly in a world where the cost of development is
So high.
increasing dramatically. Multi-platform means widening your addressable market, as the marketing guys say. Just getting more people a chance to see it. So I certainly can understand, appreciate, and welcome that ability to have Xbox games appearing on other platforms. What it does to their brand, I think, yeah, it makes the conversation harder to create. What you mentioned earlier is the FOMO. How do you create the FOMO? Trying to do that by bringing everyone to your platform, saying if you're not here, you're missing out. But if it's available on all platforms, that's one of your marketing tactics you can't use. You can't say it's only available here if it's available everywhere. So it's a balancing act, right? I'm increasing my addressable market. Yay, that's good. I'm making it harder to sell the only on my platform story over here. So we've seen it before. I mean, I was in the business when Sega brought their Dreamcast titles to PlayStation 2.
Sega.
And in time, then Sega became a software-only company. And have but a great transformation in that respect. Let's be honest, they're doing great.
Yeah.
So it does have historical precedence.
It's interesting because if I take a step.
So yeah, he said he kept using the word FOMO, which mean only here, as opposed to everywhere. And they were saying, yeah, you make your game available everywhere, but you lose that marketing of FOMO or only here. And he said juggling that, basically saying Microsoft is trying to juggle two narratives. You trying to maintain the only here narrative while saying you can play everywhere. If everything is an Xbox, then you take away the reason to own an Xbox. So, and then he kind of brought up Sega. He said this is not unprecedented. We've seen this before. Sega did the same thing. Sega's doing well as a third-party company, so it's not outside of the norm. We've seen it, and in other words, Microsoft may end up being like Sega. Thoughts?
I'll go
Microsoft
first
is
this time. I'll let Keith go.
Okay.
Microsoft already like Sega, but I think the one trump card that Microsoft does have, ironically, it's still their hardware. And what I mean by that is they have a lot of legacy titles. And a lot of their legacy titles are what people will argue is their best games. And a lot of those games aren't available everywhere. So even if you are a Game Pass subscriber, PC subscriber, to my knowledge, because I don't know what the cloud version looks like, but to my knowledge, it's like newer games and some older games. But if you want to play Microsoft's entire catalog, you need their console, which is what Sega didn't have. And also Sega didn't have a Microsoft behind them to keep them afloat while they was putting Sonic everywhere. But I understand that I get the sentiment, and I really agree with him. I would just add that little caveat to it. yeah, that FOMO, that fear of missing out, like you do lose that to like I guess you could say to us, the 17-year-olds that was in 2005, right? I know you older than that, but I'm just saying using this example. But Microsoft is actually probably trying to market toward that Roblox player, that Fortnite player, you know, and trying to lower the bar of entry. And they're trying to sneak in and get those gamers to say, hey, you should play that on our system because reasons. I don't know. I don't know what Microsoft's trying to do, honestly. I'm just trying to make something up on the fly. But yeah, that's all I pretty much got on that.
I like what Microsoft doing, but I like what he brings up. I didn't really think of you. I mean, we talked about it, but they are literally selling two narratives.
I mean, you
Going
said
back
that. You said
upstairs.
hybrid company.
Yeah, hybrid. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. So but I liked how he basically was like, in other words, he's saying you can sell that, you can talk that, but you can't really be that. You're gonna have to pick basically one bag to be in eventually. You can play around with it for now, but the more you put your games everywhere else, the less the fear of missing out, FOMO. I just call it the acronym. The fear of missing out matters because that's what made me. That's why I was so like when Gears of War, what is it, E-Day or whatever, D-Day or whatever name that new Gears of War. I was like, am I going to have to buy at least a Series S? Because I don't want to miss out on that game. I'm a Gears fan. But now, I don't have to worry about that because there's a likelihood that it'll be on both systems that I'm in. Because I'm definitely getting the Switch 2. I already have a PlayStation 5. If you put your games on those systems and you say, hey, this is an Xbox, I don't have to worry about FOMO. I don't have to worry about the fear of missing out. So, in other words, you are cannibalizing one portion of your identity, even though you may be able to, like you said, Keith, because of Microsoft being they under Microsoft, you might be able to milk the hardware side longer than Sega, but eventually the software side is going to drop off too, or won't be as prominent as it once was, and so. I thought that was interesting. What he kind of alluded to that. I thought that was interesting. K-Bomb.
Yeah. So this is what I've been. So what he explained is why I been explaining on Sony's position about Sony first party games going to PC. Right. It's this game development cost is so much. We need to get our games out to as many places as possible within reason, so that we can recoup some of that development cost. And that's why, and that is what birthed Sony also being on PC. But they wanted to balance, as we talked about, the FOMO. They still want people to believe in the Sony brand and to still have that fear of missing out. So they still will, if they can, gravitate towards a PlayStation. And that's why their multi platform strategy does not include or very minimized other home consoles. And that's why you don't see you didn't see them doing the same strategy as Microsoft, because they still wanted that fear of missing out, that reason to get this system, this console over the other console, because you can only get it here. And so that's what they're balancing. But as far as Xbox's strategy, right? Xbox is, like you said, cannibalizing one of the reasons why people get an Xbox. Um, I remember my not the first Xbox, but I think the second Xbox. I bought that because I had to play. Maybe it was the first. I think it was 360. I had to get a 360 for Mass
That's
Effect.
Mass Effect. Yeah, there's 360.
Had to play Mass Effect. I didn't care what it took. I had to play Mass Effect. That game was amazing. It made me buy an Xbox. I had to get it. I had to play it, and I've loved it ever since. But they're losing that. the only thing they have left, other than you say the legacy IPs, that is uniquely theirs is Game Pass, and that's why Game Pass has been pushed so much because use the narrative. You can play this. This is the only place to play this free. This is the only place to play this free. This is the only place to play this free at launch day. Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. That is their new fear of missing out is Game Pass. And we're going to see how well that works for them because I don't know if it's not working. I don't know if it is working. I don't know. I do know they're not selling consoles. That's what I do know, but I don't know if Game Pass is working for them or not. But that's what they're trying to create because game development is too high, man. And we talked about it. I love realistic graphic. I love how they do things, and I love as realistic they can get. But it's harming the industry the fact that every game can't be that. Every game can be that. There's absolutely games that should be that. That should be a defining game. That breaks the industry, GTA and stuff like that, God of Wars, But everything can't be that. Your entire catalog can't be that game breaking type of game. You have to be able to have little wins and smaller wins. But yeah, I do think it's a harm to their brand being able to be multi-plat. But I do think they still have some uniqueness with their software, with this Game Pass, and the way that they're utilizing. But if Game Pass goes to Sony, I mean, what's at that point you're just giving. I don't know what you are. If Game Pass ever goes to a Sony system, I don't think they can ever do that. To be honest, if they do, then they are clearly out of the console market game, and they're just going straight third party. If that ever happens, but that's my perspective.
Okay, Keith,
Yes, sir.
what's your thoughts?
I was first.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, I'll say this. I say this. They already said we the biggest third party.
Yep.
So it's already in there. It's in the details. They may not be saying. I think they still trying to save face with those that do own devices and that are part of their ecosystem, and they don't want to make enemies with those who own Game Pass. You got to have an incentive for people to stick with you that's there. You don't want to lose those dollars. But clearly the writing is on the wall that third party and being everywhere and making money is going to be our main identity, but we'll keep hardware around as long as it makes sense to. Currently it does because you have people that's invested there. But like you said, as the fear of missing out slowly becomes a thing of the past, then that's when the relevance of the device itself will become a thing of the past. And again, I think they're going to make there'd be like probably something like Alienware, something like that, where you can still buy the system and there may be some benefits to owning a Microsoft developed device to play their games on. But it's still going to be a second. It's going to be a second. It's not going to be the main thing. It's not going to be center stage. It just be an addition to. I think their companies and their studios, and with the purchase of Activision and Bethesda and all the other studios that they got that they bring in. I mean, they just announced Forza coming to PlayStation 5, and I believe it's going to come to Switch 2. Everything you're seeing coming to PlayStation 5 most likely come to Switch 2. Yeah, they are literally third party with a home device. I ain't mad at them because again, it removes the pressure for me to buy their device. It's saving me, which Shawn literally just said. We're gonna get to this last part and then we'll pivot to the conversation around Nintendo. We let this use this to do that. So this is what he had to say about Nintendo real quick. Let's go.
I think in a way Nintendo has created itself.
So let me.
It's interesting because if I take a step back and I try to look at this objectively, I feel like Nintendo is probably the best positioned to navigate going forward because they don't chase realistic graphics. They tend to have quite conservative budgets, and they're very much able to create FOMO and able to keep their costs down compared to everyone else. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, I think in a way Nintendo has created its own lane.
Private Idaho, as you call it.
You've been listening to my other work. Yes, and it's probably bigger than Idaho. It's huge.
Yeah.
Their fans are loyal. They have made so many iconic moments in the world of gaming writ large that everyone respects Nintendo. They're a competitor, but you respect everything they've done to create this industry that now we all enjoy and love. So I think they'll keep on keeping on in the way they do it. They've got the right people around it, the right attitude around it. To your point, during the pandemic, a lot of developers ramped up hiring in order to take advantage of this spike in game revenue. Went up like 20%, year on year.
It's crazy.
And then, of course, once the pandemic was over and people weren't like tied to their living room, those dropped. So we've seen a lot of reaction in the game development world of reducing staff, given the reduction of the somewhat decline in the revenues of the marketplace, given the anomaly which was the pandemic. I think the whole thing, Nintendo just kind of rode their plan.
Yeah.
Their plan pre-pandemic, through pandemic, post-pandemic, it was the plan. They didn't think that this was a time to jump up and spend a bunch of money because people were spending more time at home. And in hindsight, they were right. But of course, they've been in this business a long time. They've seen all the peaks and valleys, and they've learned how they ride through this thing, and they were successful, and that they will continue to be successful. But as you always said, the most common two console stack up in anyone's living room is a Nintendo machine and a Sony machine.
Definitely.
Because they seem to scratch two different itches.
They do. And it looks like Nintendo are taking a page out of Sony.
So he made some interesting points here. He kind of brought up the pandemic. He kind of brought up how Nintendo is best equipped to thrive in this current space where the market is, because they don't chase trends. They're not going for realism. They kind of beat to their own drum. Shawn kind of said they're kind of in their own lane. He brought up the pandemic and how other companies, because people were at home more, ramped up. They hired more. They was doing a lot more to take advantage of a lot of that downtime was, us being stuck in the homes and playing a lot more games a lot of that time. He said he believed Nintendo just basically stuck to their guns and just stayed on with their plan that they had pre-pandemic, in the pandemic, and post-pandemic. They just kind of been doing what they always had planned to do. And he said that they proved to be right. They didn't need to spike up their studios or spend extra money doing this and doing that. And they have benefited from it. So I'm curious, I'll bring you in, Keith, and let you kind of speak on that. What's your thoughts on that, man?
So the types of games that we've been talking about that's just been taking over are community-based games. And Nintendo at that time dropped one of the biggest community-based games on their platform, and that's Animal Crossing. So yeah, they stuck to their guns, and it just kind of, I don't know if it was just planned or it just kind of worked for them to have that particular game come out during the pandemic, but it worked. And Nintendo was just, like you said, they march to their own beat of their drum, they do their own thing, but they also have a loyal fan base. I'm one of them that plays like the games that they have, and no matter what Nintendo does, that loyal fan base is always going to be there, and that core fan base is huge. The other companies don't always have that. Sony has it in a different way, but Microsoft never I guess you could say they never solidified that same type of core fan base like that. The one that you see on Twitter, they crazy. Them Xbox fans, they don't want to see it go. But I get it. We all come from that era of wanting to see our company win. But Nintendo is just a different monster. And I honestly don't even honestly when I look at it and I hear the chatter from the fans and stuff like that, I don't even see how they do it, but they do it, and they're consistent with it. Um, and that's what's going to keep them thriving for a very long time. I don't see anything kind of disrupting what they have going on and their plans. They seem to know what's going on with the market, despite what we say. Nintendo needs to do better with their online, and Nintendo needs blah 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 blah. They seem to always know what to do, even when we don't even see it. Like that Animal Cross, like I'm not an Animal Crossing fan, but that was pin perfect to put out during the pandemic. You got people making houses, neighbors. I remember T-Pain was playing Animal Crossing, you know, and he has a following. So that type of stuff like that, it just generates. I don't know. Nintendo, like I said, they're just different, man, and they just seem to have a certain charm, and they connect to the gamers in a specific way that the others just don't. And that's including the Roblox and the Fortnite, and I think those franchises are mega huge. And Minecraft, I forgot about that one.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. K-Bone.
Trying to say how to say this, but so I agree with him with the point that not Microsoft, sorry, that Nintendo knows how to do their own thing. Uh, but thing is, it's for better and worse, right? It's for good and bad that they do their own thing. Their own thing has cost them, and their own thing has propelled them into where they are now. It's kind of a double edged sword there, right? That they don't chase trends, but that's also why they don't really have the live service games on their systems, and that's money being missed. But the fact that they stuck to their guns during the pandemic allowed them to be in a better position than everyone else coming out of it. You don't hear about the layoffs going on in Nintendo that you do pretty much everywhere else. You hear these mass layoffs, and that's because, as he stated, Nintendo kind of stuck to their own plan. But I will say this with his statement. I do believe that Nintendo is because of the fact that one of the reasons them being that they're the only video game company first, right? They are a gaming company first, and then everything else is secondary. Um, they have to make sure that whatever they do, when they do it, they're making money, right? Because that is their place. They can't hemorrhage money from anywhere else or any other portion of Nintendo. This is the money maker, and so their decisions and what they do is different than Sony's and Xboxes because they have to make sure at the end of the day that this Nintendo brand is the one bringing in the stacks, and so they do things much differently. Um, and I think that's good for them. That's worked for them. Um, like I said, we've seen the places where it worked. I mean, Sony wouldn't be here if Nintendo wasn't being Nintendo. Nintendo being Nintendo is the reason why we have a Sony PlayStation because they told Sony, "Nah, we cool." And Sony said, I'll put the Thanos gloves on and say, "I'll do this myself." Uh, so, um, like I said, it's good or bad. Nintendo is Nintendo, and I do have to say this. I think they are the most resilient company. They're able to bounce back after fumbles better than everyone else. I think the way that they bounced after the Wii U to just destroy the market the way they have is one of the best comebacks that we've seen, and we've seen them, not hit the bar, right? And they didn't hit what they want to hit with the GameCube, and they came out with a phenomenon, which was the Wii, and changed the game and created this blue ocean strategy that was kind of untouched until the Wii came out. So like they have hills and valleys with the way they do things, but those hill and valleys doesn't change Nintendo for being Nintendo. They're gonna make you read text.
Come
they're,
on, come
they're gonna
on.
put they're gonna put their IPs in every kind of sports game. But it works for them. It works for them. It works for their audience. It works for their fans, and people enjoy it. And we're seeing that even in the movies. Nintendo still wants to do it their way. And so you're going to get the movie when you get it because Nintendo's going to make this movie the way they want to make it. And it turned out to be very successful in the way of Mario. Um, and we see how Zelda go. But I love the fact that Nintendo and they don't win me over because they're Nintendo, right? But you can't win everyone over. I haven't had a Nintendo product to actually win me over and say that this is my choice. But they have a loyal base that's for them, and for me, they're not for me. They don't make the games I want. But a lot of people will say differently. They make the games that they want, and that loyalty exists, and people will still continue to buy a Nintendo console to play those games. They have the highest attach rate than any other game system. No one else comes close to the attach rate that Nintendo has. So yeah, they beat their own drums, and for the most part, it's a benefit to them.
I agree that they definitely. I agree with what he said. All the way. I think what he said all the way around is true. Um, while they where the side of Nintendo that I engaged had lows. When you look at Nintendo as a whole, what's the second most selling system of all time?
DS,
DS.
just system in general. Yes, system in general.
Yes.
DS.
DS was out there when the Wii U was felling. The DS was there. You know what I'm saying? When the GameCube was felling, Game Boy and Game Boy Advance was there. 3DS was there. And the Wii is just basically a merging of both their worlds. That's why
Switch.
the Switch is just a merging of that world where they brought home and console and handheld together. So to me, the home console, they had lows there, but they have always thrived. And I'm reading some of the comments, and like Maddie said, they was always mostly barely ever touched the red. That when they did touch it, it was barely there. So, but like you said, K-Bum, they did little to draw. They kind of weathered the storm through the HD and realism craze. Nintendo kind of became second fiddle in that season of things, where Sony and Microsoft were paving the way to develop what we know today as the AAA game. Nintendo kind of was left out of that loop. Nintendo was kind of left in the dust there. But I think
You sure?
I do. I believe Nintendo is left in the dust there. You have the Resident Evils that will show up. It wasn't that their system wasn't capable. Some of their system was capable, but that 360, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, Nintendo was kind of way in the rear view, in my opinion, as far as the realism and where gaming was for those 2 decades, for about a decade and a half, 2 decades. Nintendo was kind of playing. If you had to like Nintendo titles and be bought into
IPs.
IPs and had to be bought into that world. I remember the narrative around Nintendo during them days, but they weathered the storm. They was caught. Go ahead.
I just want to jump in because I don't want you to get too far away from that. The reason I said, "Are you sure?" is because we started this conversation off saying these games have gotten too expensive.
That's what I'm building to. I'm building to that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
my bad.
Before
My bad.
now, that's why I'm going back to like the introduction to the 360 and the PlayStation 3, when that kind of really began to do its thing. You saw it in the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube era, but it really came to its head, like it was really in the stride where you saw Nintendo be separated from the pack, was doing that HD era, introduction to the HD era. And to me, that's when Nintendo kind of got put into its own space. You over there, you go over there and play. These were the real gamers. This is where the real games are. You go over there. And as that, Nintendo kind of, to me, was kind of outside of their first party IPs and the Zeldas and the Marios, and they just gift at making games. They were not a part of that conversation when it came to what was going on Microsoft and Sony. But like you said, and like what he said, and that's why I was saying I believe everything he's saying, even equating for the lows, Nintendo stand true to who they are and their identity. If we know anything about the industry, things come back around. Things find like, and so now with the Roblox and the Minecrafts and the Fortnites and the all these other titles that don't really rely on realism, but kind of pull on an older trope of just great animation and great fun. Who does fun better than Nintendo? Nobody. Nobody does fun better than Nintendo. And so they're finding it's like the industry has returned in a new form factor with the live what is it, live play? What y'all say that? How do y'all say that?
Live service.
Live services titles all kind of fall into like Marvel's Rivals. Marvel Rivals looks amazing. But it ain't real, is it? It ain't realistic. It's animated, it's cartoony, it's stylish, it's comic book. That's coming back around to where people ain't looking for realism, and they don't necessarily need realism. Like I said, my daughters don't fine running around looking at block legs with dresses on with it looking like SpongeBob running around there. They fine with that.
I could never.
Right, we could never.
I could never.
They are fine, and what does that transition best to? Nintendo titles and Nintendo games. So, and I think Nintendo has beat to their own drum, and they have found their footing. I agree with him. I think everything he said about it was on point. Even like you said, K-Bum, even accounting for the lows, and there was some low lows. I believe that they're accurate, and I think the industry has reached a place where Nintendo's beating to their own drum has allowed them to sustain in a way, and we kind of had this conversation before, way before. It has allowed them to sustain in a way that both Sony and Microsoft is starting to struggle because of where they have set the bar at. Nintendo didn't set their bar in that place where Microsoft and Sony got to keep. You can't set the bar at a Last of Us and a Horizon Zero Dawn and a God of War, and then come back and try to give us some of the stuff Nintendo do. You want to set the expectation and the bar too high, so you got to maintain that. And how do you maintain that when the diminishing returns? When they go into talking about that, we didn't cover that here. They even get into the diminishing returns and all that type of stuff. So I thought what he said about Nintendo was pretty dope. And the interesting thing is the other former PlayStation boss, the one even before him, made similar statements. So I found that interesting.
They all, the entire game industry respects Nintendo,
Right.
and that's clear. And Sony has always been one of the first ones to kind of come to Nintendo defense, or even vocalize their love of Nintendo. When a big Nintendo game does really good, like Zelda or something like that, Sony is usually one of the first ones saying, "Great job, you guys are amazing. You guys changed the industry." Blah blah blah. They're usually the first ones to come out and say that because they're fans of Nintendo. And they're competitors. It's just like um, talking about. I forget what athlete it was. I'm sorry, I don't go to sports talk, but they were talking about how they love to play against the particular person, but they're a fan of them. Like I love watching this person play because they're so good at what they do. Even though we're both playing the same game, we're both trying to get the same goal. I can still have reverence for what you do and how you do things and respect for it because you do it your way. And I think Sony's always done that, and they give their props. Especially when there's like I know when the Zelda came out, Sony was singing his praises and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anything else on that, Keith?
Oh no, man! I'm glad you built to your point. I didn't mean to cut in like that. I was just when you were saying it, it sparked a thought. So
No, you straight.
yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, that was my intent was to speak on that. You're not calling fouls or
See,
nothing.
I did not talk about sports that long. Shut up.
But I wanna go here and try to get the next give you 15 more minutes we get out of here. So using that as a discussion, man, this narrative around Nintendo Switch 2 not being Nintendo enough. Let me explain. So I watched a few videos this week. I ain't gonna name any name. I was actually gonna even make a video, and I still may do a video talking about this, where Keith, because of the trailer that was shown, a lot of people are saying it's not Nintendo enough. Now, they're saying it from two angles. And let me bring this up. So they saying it's not Nintendo enough from the I guess the introductory trailer itself, which I agree that wasn't really Nintendo like in all facets. And we kind of discussed that. But they're also saying it's not Nintendo enough as far as the device itself. And that's where I'm calling cap. If I say this again, if you didn't like the trailer or the trailer didn't do, like I'm gonna go with K-Buff's argument, and which I believe is a legitimate argument. If the trailer didn't do enough for you to convince you to buy the Switch 2, I agree with that. Because the trailer was just a reveal trailer of stuff we already know, we've already seen, it was already leaked by Genki and all the others. So if this trailer didn't do enough for you to convince you to buy the Switch, absolutely agree. It doesn't. I mean, if you're not like me and Keith, yeah, I don't need this to convince me to buy a Nintendo platform. Because the moment I see Mario and Mario Kart and all that, I'm sold. It's sad, but it's true. I'm not ashamed to admit. It was sold the moment they said it was coming. It was sold. So to me, but this whole argument that the Switch design itself, the Switch 2 name, like, this is where Nintendo fans lose me. As a Nintendo fan, this is where I kick my kickstand up on my bike and I stop pedaling. Like, okay, I'm with you guys. I'm a Nintendo fan too. But I got my kickstand down. I'm looking at y'all kind of strange. Like, do I need to go I need to go solo for a minute. What makes a Nintendo system a Nintendo system? Like the system, the device itself, what makes it Nintendo-like? I guess, Keith, you might be able to help me, and y'all in the comment section, Nia, help me. What makes a Nintendo device Nintendo-like? The device itself.
I'm assuming that this person is talking about, or these people is talking about, the gimmicks, the thing that separates it from Sony and no, let me take that back. I'm gonna use K-Bone's there. The thing that separates it from all the other handhelds on the market. And I'm assuming, because I don't know, that they didn't do enough for this person.
All these people,
and
it's people. There ain't just one person.
these people. Excuse me, I keep saying it. Or these people, and they're like, it's not gonna work because it's just more the same. Yada yada yada. I hate to be that person, but I said it last week. If Nintendo put their games on PC, I'd buy them on PC. I'm at the point now where I believe that diminishing returns not only does it exist with software, but it's starting to exist with hardware. What else do you want them to do? Like what else? Like, oh, we can play with our toes now. You can now you can pedal and you got a string attached to your toe, or
Well,
I'm not even I don't even want to do that. Uh, at this point, I just want to experience the games because my time is limited, anyways. I just want to experience the games, play them, and be done with it. I don't want to have to fight my hardware just to experience the game. Now, that isn't to say that I was fighting my hardware back in the day. I love the Wii and all the other unique things that Nintendo was doing, but at this point, man, people just want to see Nintendo games evolve. Right? You want to see Nintendo games evolve graphically, not necessarily mature wise, but just graphically, and you want to see Nintendo push their games to another stratosphere. The hardware is just a necessary means, and I think straying too far away from something that has sold now 150 million is crazy. You can look at Sony as the poster child of not straying too far away from what made you successful, and asking for Nintendo to
did we lose
be.
your key?
You see, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. I don't know what
Oh,
Capcom
okay.
talking about.
Oh,
I don't think
and
he's
ask.
talking to you.
Oh, okay. And asking for Nintendo to stray far away from what's making them, what's made them success. Like K-Bone said, this is one of the greatest comebacks of all time, and you want them to go away from it. That's like you've been down the whole game. Sports talk, Nia. You've been down the whole game, and second half, now you're throwing it on the inside. Your big man is taking it to the lane. He's playing defense. He's offense. Everything is going great. I said that wrong. You was doing it in the first half. Then in the second half, you go away from it and you lose the game. Well, yeah, because you went away from what was making you successful. Why would you do that? Why do you want them to try to go do something stupid? Let's call it stupid, and
And
try to be unique for no reason.
and that's what's throwing me, like, okay, now Nia, you said a lot of the people calling it boring are young gamers who started really really gaming with the Wii. Some of them may be, but I seen some people that I know go way back, way farther than that, taking issue with the two, taking issue with a lot of things that I just found puzzling. Like, wait a minute, people. The commercial, okay, I'm with you. The commercial wasn't Nintendo-like, but neither was the Switch commercial. That Switch commercial in 2016 wasn't Nintendo-like. It had Nintendo flares, but they was using adults. That's not Nintendo-like. Is that fair to say? We said esports. Nintendo,
I can't make a comment on that.
I'm just saying, they were using adults. You didn't see any kids. You saw the first scene, you see a man sitting on the couch playing Zelda on the couch. A grown man looked like he was in it like 25, 24, 25, 26. Businessman playing that is not Nintendo like. The party of adults on top of the roof wasn't Nintendo like. Only thing that made it connect was that fact that you saw Nintendo IPs being played. The esports part wasn't Nintendo like. The van part with Mario Kart wasn't Nintendo like. The 2K at the basketball court was not Nintendo like. So, and the Wii U's commercial was very Nintendo like. So, they confusing me.
I'll jump in.
Go ahead.
Little devil's advocate. We do have to admit that a two behind a name of a Nintendo console is it's a little weird. So it's different.
It's different, but
It's different. And
it's
if
different.
people were wanting Nintendo to do the thing that they do when they come up with a new console, show me the gimmick so that I know, am I waggling, am I flipping, am I jumping? Does it make noise? Is there a
It,
brand new joystick, Joy-Con? Does it have Super Rumble, HD Rumble?
wait a
Like,
minute.
what is
Wait a
it? Give
minute.
me
Wait a
give me the
minute.
thing.
This is not. This is the Wii 2 instead of they should have never called the Wii to a Wii U. It was stupid. It was the second Wii. That's what it should have been Wii 2. But they tried to be goofy, said
They try
Wii
to be
U.
no, they try to be Nintendo.
My point is, and they understand. Like it goes back to what Keith said. You learn from your mistakes.
You should.
You don't repeat your mistakes. And a lot of the foolishness that I'm hearing from some of these people that I would think would be more wise, a little bit more wiser than that, and a little bit more seasoned. You, like Nia said, you were showing out yourself to be stupid, or at the very least, you're just pandering to what you think your audience wants to hear. And I wish you guys.
But could it be? Could it be that they're used to be Nintendo behaving a certain way, and they're not?
I get that part, but again, we talking about learning from your mistakes. Nintendo is still. This is my thing. Let me say this, and I'm gonna jump off of it.
Oh, no, no problem, no problem. No, I'm just advocating this thing.
Nothing about that trailer. Nothing about this trailer. Everything about this trailer is Nintendo. Everything. The only thing missing out this trailer is the games. And I believe people are upset that they got to wait longer to see the games, to make their arguments about whether it's going to be great, it's going to compete, where it's hitting that part Nintendo left out. Everything that you saw is very Nintendo. The mice, the thing crawling on the ground, the sound effects. Keith, but was it a response to the leaks? Absolutely. But it's very Nintendo. Everything in this is Nintendo. Look like everything. So to me, you don't make the same mistake that you made with the Wii U from the Wii. You don't do that again. It would have been stupid to call it Super Switch.
I agree.
But that's what you do though,
Wait a
Nintendo. That's what you've done.
No,
So,
yeah.
so call it Switch 37 or whatever
No,
number you want
that's
to make up.
Microsoft. That's not Nintendo. That's
Well,
Microsoft.
I was talking about the 64, but that was just from the gig. I was
That-
saying how
yeah,
many
the
bytes
64
are how many bytes are in the Switch 2? You call it that?
And that
Switch
made
DLLS.
and that made sense. That made sense back then. But we have only had I would say 3 times where something was a continuation of what was before. Super NES from the NES,
Yes.
Wii U from the Wii,
Yes.
when we come to home console, and
Yes.
Switch to the Switch. Super NES made, and at that time, that made sense. It worked.
It worked.
So, but we don't need to go back to that time. And that's why I said there's a lot of older folks. There's a lot of them people from our age, and I would say 38, 35, 30s, in that age bracket that was back in the day when the Super NES was a thing. It's people from that era making this dumb statement. I would have rather been called Super Switch. It sounds
What? Yes, Super Switch would have been so
corny, dated, out of touch, and catering to people who just want their nostalgia scratched. Switch 2 was the most intelligent business decision, and it shows that people are learning from their mistakes. So, like
It should
you said,
it should have been called Switch to Electric Boogaloo. Now that
that's not being serious. I'm not even listening to you.
Come on.
I'm trying to have a serious conversation. You not letting it be had. But
my
my point is,
I'm dead.
let me just get off my rant. I'm sick of, and I'm gonna do a side video on this. I'm sick of you people who don't know how to enjoy success. Some of these people are the same ones fussing about the Switch early on. And what it was doing then, they was fussing about it. And it's like, if I was Nintendo, I wouldn't listen to none of y'all. Because listening to y'all, no, I wouldn't listen to none of y'all. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't. Everything about this commercial says Nintendo. It just says we understand the market, we understand the success that we have had, and we're not trying to screw that up for extremists who, to them, you think Super Switch sound cool. No. Who uses Super at anything? Do you want to, Keith, do you want a Super iPhone? do you want a super? Do you want a super OLED TV? Who? I don't even ride the Super Loop when I go to the fair.
I mean, is a Super OLED better than a regular OLED? I mean, is it?
Who? Stop! I mean, it's to me, it's silly, and the device is very Nintendo. Like the colors, the everything. I mean,
yes, very Nintendo like. It's very similar to the one you just launched, so
right.
It better be Nintendo like. I mean,
but they saying it's not.
Give me the gimmick. Give me the gimmick.
It's got okay. We don't even know. We haven't seen. It hasn't shown anything, and it's stupid to me, man.
They need something to say. Why would you do that, Nintendo? Then that makes them feel like home.
I guess I don't need that.
Makes it feel like home.
I need you to do what you're doing currently. That's different. That's very Nintendo. The Joy-Cons is very Nintendo. Everything is Nintendo. It's a continuation of what you gave us, and it's continuing. It's the Switch. It's already doing. That's the gimmick. It's the Switch 2. The same gimmick is the gimmick with a little bit more gimmick stuff to it that they clearly showing you. I'm confused. Anyway, keep going here, man. K-Bum just wore my little points out with the. I can't even.
Switch
continue.
2 Electric Boogaloo.
People, there you go, Kawan.
I'm done.
People are never satisfied.
That's true.
At the 150 million sold, you would think these idiots. Lord forgive me, I shouldn't say that. You said don't call people Raycon. These people will learn and have come to understand. And it's like they would rather jeopardize success just so they can say Super Switch. Like, oh man, the nostalgia is poisonous if you don't have it under control. Go ahead, Keith.
I don't have anything to add to Super Switch, but man, at the same time, you just said it. They haven't really shown much. They showed us a little teaser of what we think is Mario Kart 9. You never know what there's your unique. They could call it Mario Kart 24 or something. There it is. We don't know. All we have is just a little bit, and they had to go ahead and show us what the console was. Give them time to talk about it. They already gave you a time. They gave you a date. Chill. You don't even know how you don't know how Nintendo it is yet. April 2nd.
I'm just dumb. I'm gonna make this video, but I'm glad I didn't because if I would have made it when I was going to make it, I would have been ranting hard. Like people, would y'all stop? But I'm just like I said, I'm just out that world, out that space. I love Nintendo too, but if they would have called this Super NES, I would have been so upset. If they would call this Super Switch, I would have been upset, highly upset. I think it's Switch U. Like, okay, let's do the stupid stuff we did before that isolated us and made your system seem like it's not. Yes, Wii U is not for you. It's for. So anyway, clearly it wasn't because people didn't buy it. I think they're doing exactly what they need. Yes, I'm in agreement with K-Bum. I wish they would have shown the games running on it and did something similar like they did the first time we saw the Switch. I do think that this was not enough that this was kind of pedestrian, kind of boring. I agree with that. It was boring because the element of surprise was lost. But to go so far to say the device itself is not Nintendo like, the name is not Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo don't know how to name stuff. 3DS. Okay, look at this, Keith. DS. I like DS Lite. That was dope. DS Lite, Switch Lite, dope. 3DS, dope. That's a 3. 3DS. 2DS.
Hmm?
A DS without this, a DS with one screen. I was like, okay, so
The
okay,
wedge.
the sound, yeah, the loaf, the piece of bread, yeah. The 2DS, no man, dumb. That was like I remember like the 2DS ain't it doing what the DS did? Just you kind of taking stuff out of the DS to give us the 2DS. Is just a cheaper DS with one screen showing you two pictures, right? Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, that's correct.
So you go from 3DS back to 2DS. And these are the people. They ain't have nothing to say about that. Well, it was a few people fussing about that. But no, Nintendo ain't good at naming stuff. Super NES and N64 and maybe the GameCube was dope name. I thought the GameCube was a dope name. Wii was a terrible name. It worked, but it was a terrible name. It just worked because of the device. Wii U was even more terrible. Switch, honestly, is not a great name, but it worked. So Switch 2 makes the sense. I don't see no need to call it Switch, Super Switch, Ultra Switch, Switch 64. No, Switch 2. Now, some people I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to implicate people that I saw talking about this, but some of y'all need to chill out. Y'all need to put y'all a little bit of that fandom down and think sensible. Anyway, it was 3DS with no 3. I know. So they called it 2DS, which was just a DS without a second screen. It was just a DS with the better model gone. It was a cheap DS. That's what it was. And they was selling that stuff. Anyway, oh my God. That was trash. Anyway. So the last thing is, K-Bun, what do you think about PlayStation 4 being removed from PSN?
Man, do we have the time? I don't know if we have time to talk about this. We got time? Where are we with time right now?
Yeah, we good. We could say that. Talk about that another time. You don't want to
Yeah,
just give your thoughts on it, just real quick.
I want to, because I ain't gonna be quick.
I'm not. I don't have it. I don't. I'm not invested. So if you got 10 minutes to give to it, go for it.
I got 10, maybe 15 to get in there because I all right. So let's tell the whole story. So people are upset. People are upset at Sony saying, "How dare you, Sony?" Because they got the news that for the free game that is offered with free game that is offered with PlayStation Plus subscription. There is a monthly, several free games that are offered monthly. That the PlayStation 4 games will not be prominent in those free games. And people have been threatening to cancel their uh, subscriptions because of it. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say this is a nothing burger, and people are in their feelings. Here's why. The title going around has been PlayStation removes PS4 games. That is not what happened. But people are trying to say that that's what it is. What PlayStation said is that the frequency of PlayStation 4 games offered as the free version, sorry, as the free monthly game, um, that will decrease to occasionally. What that means is if it's a PS4 title only, right? Any PS5 game that is also a PS4 game, when offered as a free game, will be available for both your PS4 and your PS5. Um, what they're saying is they're going to decrease the spotlight of PS4 games. Plus, they're not making that change until when? 2026. It is a whole year. This is not a statement made and they're making the change next week. Or they're making it next month, or 2 months, or 3 months, or 6 months. It is an entire year before this happens, which means you still have an entire year to get the most out of your PS4. I personally believe this is a nothing burger, and gamers are just crybabies and complaining because what are you losing? The free game that you didn't play anyway? I know I don't play the free games all the time. I get those free games like, oh, okay, thanks, I downloaded it. No, never going to play it. So I don't understand why people are upset at Sony and saying they're throwing L's because to be completely honest, Sony has allowed PlayStation owners to overstay their welcome this generation. If you want to be completely honest with me,
PlayStation 4. That's what I was gonna ask you. How does this affect those that are still on the PlayStation 4?
so what affects is the PSN, the monthly game that's given, is that free game will majority of the time will be a PS5 only game. That's it. That's the impact. You won't be able to play that game for your PS4. The free game that they offer.
That's it.
And now
So it's not like you
that's it.
can't go on the PlayStation Store and buy a PlayStation 4 game.
No, 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 no. It is
That,
the
that,
free game that is
oh,
offered.
okay. I had that totally. What how people was complaining about? I didn't. I just saw the complaints. I didn't really investigate what was actually said.
Right.
So
Sound like it was bad.
Exactly.
Sound like it was poorly put out there in the news articles. Cause it sounded like the headlines was indicating one thing and it wasn't. There's that shock value type of stuff, and people ran with it because they didn't read it.
because it said
It was all shock
PlayStation. It
value.
said PlayStation 4 removed from PSN. So I'm thinking all things PlayStation 4 will not
Okay.
after this date will not be available on
All right.
PSN. So it lost
Let
me too.
let me read you the statement from Sony.
Okay.
Because news articles took it and just I had to read it myself. 'Cause I'm like, they're spinning it out of context. That's not what's going on. Here is the statement from Sony. As many of our players are currently playing on the PS5 and have shifted towards redeeming and accessing PS5 titles from the monthly games and the game catalog benefit, PlayStation Plus is also evolving with this trend and will focus on offering PS5 titles through the monthly game and game catalog benefit starting January 26th. As we shift to the PS5, PS4 games will no longer be a key benefit and will only be occasionally offered for PlayStation Plus monthly games and game catalog starting January 2026. We may still provide titles that can be playable on both PS4 and PS5 consoles after this date. Please note, this won't affect PS4 monthly games that you have already redeemed from PlayStation Plus. You can continue to have access to these games you've already redeemed as long as you remain a member. For the game catalog, PS4 games will still be available for play until it leaves the catalog as part of our monthly refresh. Last piece, we continue to evolve the experience of PlayStation Plus and optimize the benefits you receive, including exclusive discounts, online multiplayer access, online game save, storage, and more. As we shift our focus to PS5, we look forward to adding new PS5 titles monthly for you to enjoy. That is the statement for Sony. That is not what the news articles are saying.
Right. That's absolutely not what they're saying. And their headings are absolutely misleading.
Mm-hmm. It's a
So
nothing burger,
so it's
bro.
a nothing
It's
burger.
a nothing burger.
Okay. Well, we don't need to continue this conversation. You handled that very well, sir.
And it ticks me off because people they're trying to throw L's at Sony, and I'm like, to be honest, we just had the conversation last week that Sony has catered to the PS4 too long, and that has hurt the sales of the PS5. And now when they say we're actually going to shift to the PS5, now you want to get up and cry? Like, come on, we can't have both.
Yeah.
You can't have both, man. Pick your complaint. Stick with it.
All right. Cherry Man says Wii U was underrated to me. I still own it. I still own my Wii U. I believe the Wii U introduced something that Nintendo shouldn't have never left, and that's Miiverse. That's the one thing that Nintendo needs to go back to that era and pick back to that generation and heist and bring it over to their current system is Miiverse. Miiverse was a game changer. It was ahead of its time. It was doing things we had not seen in that capacity. I'm not saying Sony had their home K-Mom?
Yeah, PlayStation Home.
PlayStation Home but Miiverse was like Facebook, like Twitter, like Instagram. Home I feel like you had to invest too much. I don't want to run around a digital world. It was what is old dude with Facebook trying to create? What they call that?
Metaverse.
It was Metaverse before Metaverse. That's what Sony was doing. To me, Miiverse was basically Facebook, Instagram, and it worked. And it literally, you could go to a game and find people under that game, talking about that game, giving points about that game, taking pictures of that game. You go to that game only if you want to talk about. I remember specifically Wonderful 101. Going under there and seeing where people was doing and where people were and different bosses and different clues and different aids to help. So they need to go heist that and rip that from that device and that generation or that system and bring that over to the Switch too. They should do that and revamp it and everything and bring it back because that's the only thing they left there that to me that should have continued. And I don't think you had friend codes then either, did you, Keith? You was able to do it the normal way. So they need to go back to that. Codes. So, but yeah, I still got my Wii U. It's sitting right there. I gave it to my daughter, but she wasn't taking care of it, so I brought it back down here. With that being said, that was the podcast for tonight. 2 hours and 30-some minutes. I think we gave y'all enough. I'm going to let these dudes sign out, starting with Mr. Norris. Go ahead, bro.
Yes, sir. People hearing my voice. It was a good show. Man, I hope Capcom goes back and play Resident Evil 2. If there's anything that comes from this show, he need to play Resident Evil 2. But no, it was a good show. It was good catching up with everybody. Good listening to, what is his name again? The guy? Shawn Layden. It was good hearing Shawn Layden talk about some things that he's learned over the years and just giving his opinion and facts about things. And the level, you're right, he seemed at peace and at ease now that he is free of all the burdens. But like I said, good show, people. Until next time.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Go ahead, K-Ball.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoyed the podcast. Enjoyed chopping it up. I think we had some good topics and some good conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the insights that we were able to give. I hope you guys just had an overall good time chopping it up with us for these 2 hours. But enjoyed it. Can't wait till next time till we catch back up and get some conversations and talk about some games, man. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. Same here. I enjoyed tonight. Not a lot in tonight, but wasn't a lot to talk about. Like I said, Capcom show was pretty cool. I really did enjoy what Shawn had to say. I'm gonna go back and watch this whole interview. I kind of cherry picked stuff out of it to talk about tonight. But overall, I thought he had a lot of gems to drop. He was sharing some good stuff. So I'm gonna go back. I feel like he was saying better stuff than Phil was saying. So curious to see all what he had to say, so I'm gonna go back and check that out. Shouts out to Kawan. Shouts out to Matty Jazz 47, Nia, Chariot Man. Who else is in here? I think somebody, one more person here. I want to get.
Alan Steed.
Alan Steed and still one Dragon. Where he at?
Oh yeah.
There he is, Darkwing Dragon. Thank y'all for tuning in on tonight. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Stop letting Nintendo troll. Man, Nintendo been trolling like crazy. Nintendo been trolling y'all. In other words, they saying stop trying to predict when we gonna do stuff. Or we not gonna do it. That's what they saying. Anyway, this was a Live Level Gaming Podcast. Till next time, deuces. Peace.
We got smashed, bro.